Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and a dense, ancient forest, there was a young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her kindness and her love of the stars. Every night, she would climb up to the top of a hill just outside the village to watch the stars twinkle in the sky. But Lila's favorite was the moon, with its soft glow that illuminated the world below. One night, as Lila gazed up at the full moon, she noticed something strange. The moon's light seemed to be growing dimmer, as if it was losing its shine. The stars around it began to fade, and the sky grew darker and darker. Concerned, Lila rushed back to her village to tell the elders, but they were puzzled. No one had ever heard of the moon losing its light. Determined to find out what was happening, Lila decided to venture into the forest to seek answers. The forest was said to be magical, with ancient trees that whispered secrets and animals that could speak. Lila had never ventured far into the forest, but she knew that if there was any place that could help her save the moon, it was there. The Forest of Secrets. Lila set off early the next morning, carrying only a small lantern and a piece of bread. The forest was thick with trees, their branches intertwined to form a canopy that blocked out much of the sunlight. The air was cool and filled with the scent of pine and earth. As Lila walked deeper into the forest, she began to hear faint whispers, as if the trees were talking to each other. Suddenly, a small, golden fox appeared on the path in front of her. The fox had bright, intelligent eyes, and it spoke in a soft voice. "What brings you to the Forest of Secrets, little one?" Lila, though surprised to hear the fox speak, replied, "I've come to find out why the moon is losing its light. The moon is so important to me, and I want to help it shine again." The fox nodded. "The moon's light is fading because its heart is broken. It has been alone in the sky for too long, watching over the world but never having a friend. The only way to restore its light is to find the moonlit pond, deep within the forest. There, you can summon the moon's reflection, and if you can offer it a true gift of friendship, the moon's light will be restored." The journey to the moonlit pond. Lila thanked the fox and continued her journey, guided by the whispers of the forest. As she walked, she encountered many creatures who had heard of her quest. A wise old owl gave her a silver feather, saying, "This feather will show you the way when you are lost." A gentle deer offered her a sprig of lavender, saying, "This will calm your heart in times of fear." After many hours of walking, the forest began to change. The trees grew taller, and their leaves shimmered with a soft, silvery light. The air became cooler, and Lila could hear the sound of water flowing nearby. She followed the sound until she came upon a beautiful pond, its surface perfectly still and reflecting the sky above. Lila knew she had found the moonlit pond. The water was so clear that it looked like a mirror, reflecting the darkened sky and the faint, dim moon. She knelt by the edge of the pond and gently placed the silver feather and the sprig of lavender on the water's surface. The moon's reflection. As soon as the feather and lavender touched the water, the surface began to ripple, and the reflection of the moon shimmered. Slowly, a figure emerged from the pond, a delicate, glowing being that looked like a smaller version of the moon itself. It was the moon's reflection, and it gazed at Lila with sad, longing eyes. "Why have you come, child of the earth?" the moon's reflection asked, its voice as soft as a breeze. "I have come to offer you my friendship," Lila replied. "You watch over us every night, but I know you must feel lonely. I want to be your friend, to share stories with you and keep you company." The moon's reflection smiled, and the light around it grew a little brighter. "You are kind, little one, but what can a small girl offer the moon?" Lila thought for a moment, then reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, round stone. It was smooth and had a tiny star carved into it, something Lila had found one day while exploring the hills. She had always kept it as a treasure, but now she realized it was the perfect gift. "This stone is my most precious possession," Lila said, holding it out to the moon's reflection. "It reminds me of the stars and the sky, and it brings me comfort. I want you to have it, so you can remember that you're never alone." The moon's light restored. The moon's reflection took the stone and held it close. As it did, the reflection's light grew stronger, and the pond began to glow with a radiant light. The sky above started to brighten, and the moon's light slowly returned to its former glory. "Thank you, Lila," the moon's reflection said. "Your gift has filled my heart with warmth, and I no longer feel alone. I will shine brightly once more, and I will always watch over you, my friend." With those words, the reflection slowly faded back into the pond, leaving the water calm and still once more. Lila watched as the moon in the sky grew brighter and brighter, until it was shining as brilliantly as ever. The return home satisfied and filled with joy, Lila made her way back through the forest. The animals she had met earlier greeted her with smiles and nods, knowing that she had succeeded in her quest. The golden fox appeared once more and guided her back to the edge of the forest. When Lila returned to her village, she found the villagers gathered outside, marveling at the moon's restored light. They cheered when they saw Lila, knowing that she had been the one to save the moon. From that night on, Lila would often stand on the hill, talking to the moon as if it were an old friend. And every night, the moon would shine a little brighter, as if listening to her stories. The legacy of the moonlit pond. As years passed, the tale of Lila and the moonlit pond became a beloved story in the village. Children would gather under the stars to hear the story of how a young girl's kindness and bravery saved the moon's light. The moonlit pond remained a place of wonder, where the brave could still find the moon's reflection and offer their friendship. And so, the moon continued to shine brightly in the night sky, a reminder that even the loneliest hearts can find warmth and light through the power of true friendship. The end. Once upon a time, in a faraway land known as Starlight Valley, there lived a young girl named Lyra. Starlight Valley was renowned for its brilliant night skies, where the stars shimmered like diamonds and seemed almost within reach. The valley's people believed that the stars were not just distant lights but the guardians of dreams and wishes. Among the villagers, Lyra was known for her deep fascination with the stars. Her father, an old stargazer, had told her stories about the Starcatcher, a mythical figure who could capture falling stars and make wishes come true. Lyra had always dreamed of becoming a starcatcher herself, but no one had seen one in many years, and the magic of the stars had become a distant memory for many. One crisp autumn night, while gazing at the sky, Lyra saw a shooting star fall from the heavens and land somewhere in the whispering woods that bordered the valley. She took it as a sign and decided to embark on a quest to find the fallen star and bring back its magic. Armed with a small satchel, a lantern, and her trusty compass, Lyra ventured into the whispering woods. The woods were alive with the sounds of chirping crickets and rustling leaves, and the path ahead was bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. As she ventured deeper, she encountered a wise old owl perched on a low branch. "Greetings, young seeker," the owl hooted. "To find the fallen star, you must first prove your worth. Solve this riddle to continue on your quest. I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Lyra pondered for a moment and answered, "A map." The owl's eyes gleamed with approval. "You are correct. Follow the path of glowing mushrooms to find your next challenge." Lyra thanked the owl and followed the path of mushrooms, which led her to a tranquil glade. In the center of the glade stood an ancient stone archway, and beyond it was a shimmering pool of crystal-clear water. Guarding the pool was a graceful, silver-scaled fish with a golden tail. To retrieve the fallen star, the fish said, "You must show your true heart. To do so, you must answer this question: what is the one thing that grows stronger the more you give it away?" Lyra thought deeply and replied, "Friendship." The fish smiled and flicked its golden tail, causing the waters of the pool to part and reveal a hidden path. Lyra followed the path and arrived at a majestic, glowing cave where the star lay nestled in a bed of stardust. As Lyra approached the star, it began to speak in a soft, musical voice. "To release my magic, you must make a wish from your heart. But remember, true magic lies not in what you wish for yourself, but in what you wish for others." Lyra closed her eyes and thought about her village, which had faced many hardships and challenges. She made her wish for the well-being and happiness of everyone in Starlight Valley, hoping to bring joy and prosperity to her people. The star glowed brightly, and a wave of light spread from the cave, traveling across the valley. The night sky above Starlight Valley sparkled more brilliantly than ever, and the villagers awoke to find their lives transformed. The crops thrived, the river flowed with crystal-clear water, and a sense of harmony and joy enveloped the valley. When Lyra returned to her village, she was greeted with cheers and celebrations. The people marveled at the newfound prosperity and thanked Lyra for her bravery and selflessness. They celebrated her as a hero, and the tale of her quest became a beloved story passed down through generations. The stars' magic continued to shine brightly in the night sky, a reminder of Lyra's noble wish and the power of selfless acts. Starlight Valley flourished, and the stars above seemed to shine even more brightly, guiding and inspiring all who looked up to them. And so, the kingdom of Starlight Valley thrived, with the magic of the stars and the kindness of a brave young girl bringing lasting happiness to the land. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering river, there lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his adventurous spirit and his fascination with the mysteries of the world. He spent his days exploring the nearby woods, climbing trees, and dreaming of far-off lands. One day, while rummaging through the attic of his family's old cottage, Finn stumbled upon a dusty wooden box. Inside the box was an ornate compass with a gleaming, jewel-encrusted face. The compass was unlike anything Finn had ever seen, with intricate designs etched into its brass casing. At the center of the compass, where the needle usually pointed north, was a small, glowing emerald. Finn was captivated by the compass and decided to take it with him on his next adventure. He slipped it into his pocket and set off into the woods, eager to discover what secrets the compass might hold. As Finn wandered deeper into the forest, he noticed something extraordinary. The compass needle, instead of pointing north, began to sway and glow softly, guiding him toward a hidden path he had never noticed before. With excitement bubbling in his chest, Finn followed the compass's guidance. The path led Finn to a hidden glen, bathed in golden sunlight. At the center of the glen was a magnificent tree with silver leaves that shimmered like stars. Beneath the tree, a small, ancient stone archway stood, covered in moss and vines. The archway seemed to beckon Finn closer. Curious, Finn approached the archway and noticed that the compass needle was now spinning wildly. As he stepped through the archway, he was greeted by a breathtaking sight. He had entered a magical realm, where the sky was a brilliant shade of twilight purple, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. In the heart of this enchanted realm was a grand castle made of sparkling crystal. The castle's towers reached toward the heavens, and its walls shimmered with every color of the rainbow. As Finn marveled at the castle, he noticed a figure approaching him, a kind-faced, elderly woman dressed in robes of deep blue and silver. The woman introduced herself as Queen Alara of the Enchanted Realm. She explained that the compass Finn had found was a magical artifact that could lead its bearer to the hidden realm when they were in need of great adventure or help. The realm was a place of wonder, but it was also in need of assistance. The kingdom's magic had begun to fade, and only a heart full of courage and kindness could restore it. Queen Alara revealed that the source of the kingdom's magic was the Heartstone, a powerful gem hidden within the castle. However, the Heartstone had been taken by a mischievous sprite named Puck, who had hidden it away in a maze of illusions and traps. Without the Heartstone, the kingdom's magic would continue to wane. Determined to help, Finn agreed to embark on the quest to retrieve the Heartstone. Queen Alara handed him a small, silver key and wished him luck. The key, she explained, would help him navigate the maze. Finn made his way to the entrance of the maze, where the key glowed brightly in his hand. As he ventured through the labyrinth, he encountered various challenges, bewildering illusions, hidden traps, and magical puzzles. Each challenge required him to use his wits, bravery, and kindness. At one point, Finn came across a small, trapped creature, a golden firefly caught in a web of enchanted vines. Remembering Queen Alara's advice about kindness, Finn carefully freed the firefly. In gratitude, the firefly revealed the way forward, guiding him through a particularly tricky section of the maze. After many trials, Finn finally reached the center of the maze, where Puck was playfully hiding the Heartstone. The sprite, seeing the determination and bravery in Finn's eyes, decided to test him one last time. Puck asked Finn a riddle: "What is the greatest treasure, yet the most humble, that you can give without losing anything?" Finn thought carefully and then answered, "The greatest treasure is love. It is given freely, and it enriches both the giver and the receiver." Puck was touched by Finn's answer and, with a mischievous grin, handed over the Heartstone. Finn thanked Puck and made his way back to the castle. With the Heartstone restored to its rightful place, the enchanted realm's magic was rejuvenated. The skies grew even more brilliant, and the flowers bloomed with renewed vigor. Queen Alara and the magical inhabitants of the realm celebrated Finn's bravery and kindness. As a token of their gratitude, Queen Alara gifted Finn a small, enchanted crystal that would allow him to visit the enchanted realm whenever he wished. Finn returned to his village, where he shared his incredible adventure with everyone, and the enchanted compass remained a cherished memento of his journey. And so, Finn's heart and the magical realm were forever intertwined, reminding him that courage, kindness, and love were the true keys to unlocking the wonders of the world. Once upon a time, in a lush valley surrounded by towering mountains, there lay a kingdom called Eldoria. Eldoria was known for its vibrant forests, sparkling lakes, and the magnificent dragon's peak that loomed over the land. At the top of this peak lived a dragon named Draken, whose scales glittered like molten gold and whose breath could create flames as bright as the sun. Draken was not just any dragon, he was the keeper of a legendary treasure, a chest filled with ancient artifacts and priceless gems. However, Draken had hidden the treasure away many years ago, and no one knew its exact location except for him. Over time, Draken's once bright scales grew dim, and his fiery breath softened. He was no longer the fearsome dragon he once was. In the village at the foot of Dragon's Peak lived a kind-hearted boy named Finn. Finn was known for his adventurous spirit and his love for exploring the forests and mountains. He often heard tales about Draken and the lost treasure, but he had never seen the dragon himself. One day, while exploring the forest, Finn stumbled upon an old, tattered map. The map was covered in strange symbols and led to Dragon's Peak. Excited by the discovery, Finn decided to follow the map and see where it would lead. As he climbed the steep path to the top of Dragon's Peak, Finn encountered various challenges: rocky slopes, narrow ledges, and even a mischievous group of mountain sprites who tried to distract him. But Finn's determination and courage helped him overcome every obstacle. At last, Finn reached the summit and found a hidden cave entrance covered by a curtain of ivy. With a deep breath, he entered the cave, where he saw Draken lying on a pile of old treasures, looking sad and weary. "Greetings, great Draken," Finn said respectfully. "I have come to find the lost treasure. I found this map, and I believe it might lead to something you've been searching for." Draken's eyes, though dim, sparkled with curiosity. "The treasure is indeed lost, but I have hidden it away so long ago that I have forgotten where it lies. I am not the dragon I once was, and the treasure's magic has faded with me." Finn approached the dragon and, seeing his condition, felt a pang of sympathy. "Perhaps the treasure isn't just about the gold and jewels," he suggested. "Maybe it's about the magic and the hope it once brought. Let me help you find it." Draken's heart warmed at Finn's words. Together, they started to search the cave, following the clues on the map. They discovered hidden compartments and ancient scrolls, each one holding pieces of the treasure's story. As they worked together, Draken's scales began to regain their luster, and his breath grew warmer. Finally, they found a small, intricately carved chest hidden behind a rock. When Finn opened it, he found not just gold and gems but a glowing crystal that pulsed with a gentle light. The crystal seemed to resonate with Draken's own magic. "This crystal holds the true magic of the treasure," Draken explained. "It was never about the riches but the magic that brought joy and hope to the land." With a newfound energy, Draken took the crystal and held it close. The cave filled with a brilliant light, and the treasure's magic spread throughout Eldoria, restoring the land's beauty and vitality. Finn and Draken returned to the village, where the villagers celebrated their return with joy and gratitude. Draken, now revitalized, became a beloved guardian of Eldoria, using his magic to protect and enrich the land. Finn's bravery and kindness were celebrated, and he continued to explore and help others, knowing that the true treasure was the magic of friendship and the joy of sharing one's heart. And so, Eldoria thrived, with Draken's treasure shining as a symbol of hope and the magic of a courageous heart. Finn's adventure became a cherished tale, reminding everyone that sometimes the greatest treasures are the ones that bring people together and make the world a brighter place. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between emerald hills and a sparkling river, there was a tale of a mystical dreamweaver. The dreamweaver was said to possess the power to weave dreams into reality and bring joy and prosperity to those who were pure of heart. The villagers had long believed that one day, the dreamweaver would visit their land and bestow its magic upon them. In this village lived a young boy named Leo, who was known for his boundless imagination and kindness. Leo loved to dream of far-off places and magical adventures, and he often shared his dreams with the villagers, bringing them comfort and hope. One day, Leo learned that the dreamweaver was real and that it had been hiding in the forest for centuries. Determined to help his village, Leo decided to find the dreamweaver and bring its magic back to his home. The first challenge, the Forest of Whispers. Leo's journey began in the Forest of Whispers, a mystical forest where the trees seemed to murmur ancient secrets. As he walked along the winding path, he came upon a wise old fox with fur that shimmered like moonlight. To pass through the Forest of Whispers, the fox said with a voice as gentle as the breeze, "You must solve this riddle. I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Leo thought for a moment and answered, "A map." The fox's eyes glowed with approval, and it pointed to a hidden path that led deeper into the forest. "Follow this path to reach the next challenge," the fox instructed. The second challenge, the Bridge of Echoes. Following the path, Leo soon arrived at the Bridge of Echoes, a graceful bridge arching over a serene, shimmering lake. The bridge was guarded by a mystical swan with feathers that sparkled like stars. To cross the Bridge of Echoes, the swan said with a melodic voice, "You must answer this question. What has keys but cannot open locks, space but no room, and you can play but not touch?" Leo pondered the question and replied, "A piano." The swan's eyes twinkled with delight, and it spread its wings to reveal a shimmering pathway across the lake. Leo carefully crossed the bridge, feeling a sense of excitement as he approached the next part of his journey. The third challenge, the Cave of Reflections. On the other side of the lake, Leo discovered the Cave of Reflections, a grand cave with walls that seemed to mirror the starry sky. At the entrance of the cave was a grand, ancient door adorned with celestial symbols. A soft, soothing voice echoed from within the cave, "To unlock this door and find the Dreamweaver, you must reveal your true heart. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with sincerity." Leo took a deep breath and spoke earnestly, "My deepest wish is to find the Dreamweaver and bring its magic back to my village. I want to use its power to bring joy and prosperity to my people." The cave's walls shimmered with a warm, golden light, and the ancient door slowly creaked open, revealing a magnificent chamber bathed in moonlight. In the center of the chamber stood the Dreamweaver, a figure cloaked in shimmering stardust, surrounded by glowing threads of light. The revelation, the Dreamweaver's gift. The Dreamweaver smiled at Leo and spoke in a voice like a gentle breeze, "You have shown great courage and sincerity, young dreamer. The magic of dreams lies not just in the weaving of wishes but in the hearts of those who believe in them." With a wave of its hand, the Dreamweaver imbued Leo with a magical thread of stardust, which glowed softly and sparkled like the night sky. This thread holds the power to turn dreams into reality. Use it wisely, and share its magic with your village. With the Dreamweaver's gift in hand, Leo returned to his village. As he shared the stardust thread with the villagers, its magic began to weave through their lives, bringing newfound joy and prosperity. The once quiet village became vibrant and bustling, with laughter and happiness filling the air. The villagers celebrated Leo's bravery and the magic of the Dreamweaver, cherishing the gift that had transformed their lives. The tale of Leo's quest and the Dreamweaver's gift became a beloved story in the village, a reminder of the power of dreams and the magic that lies within the hearts of those who dare to believe. Under the starlit sky and the shimmering magic of the Dreamweaver, the village thrived once more, forever grateful for the boy who had brought their dreams to life. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills and dense, whispering forests, there was a garden unlike any other. This garden was said to be enchanted, hidden away behind a tall, ivy-covered gate that no one had opened for generations. It was known only through the tales told by the village's elders, who spoke of flowers that sang lullabies and trees that told stories. The village was small and charming, but life there had grown a little dull. The villagers worked hard, tended to their fields, and cared for their animals, but the magic and wonder that once filled their lives had faded into memory. The only one who still believed in the tales of the enchanted garden was a little girl named Lila. Lila was curious and adventurous, with a heart full of dreams and a mind full of questions. Every evening, she would sit by the gate and imagine what lay beyond it. She imagined flowers that shimmered like stars and trees that whispered secrets of faraway lands. One summer's day, as the sun began to set and the sky turned into a canvas of orange and pink, Lila noticed something peculiar. The gate, which had always been locked tight, was now slightly ajar. Her heart raced with excitement as she pushed the gate open just enough to squeeze through. On the other side, Lila found herself in a garden that seemed to glow with an ethereal light. The flowers were indeed like stars, their petals radiating soft, shimmering colors. The trees were tall and majestic, their leaves rustling with the gentle hum of ancient songs. The air was filled with the scent of blooming roses and the sound of melodies that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once. As Lila wandered deeper into the garden, she heard a soft voice singing a lullaby. She followed the sound and came upon a small, clear pond. Floating above the pond was a tiny, shimmering figure, a fairy with delicate wings that sparkled like dew in the morning sun. The fairy was singing to the water lilies, which were swaying in rhythm with the melody. "Hello," Lila said softly, not wanting to startle the fairy. The fairy looked up with a twinkle in her eye. "Hello, little one. I am Lyra, the guardian of this garden. Few have ventured here in many years." Lila's eyes widened with wonder. "Is it really true? Do the flowers sing and the trees talk?" Lyra smiled and nodded. "Yes, indeed. This garden is a place of magic and dreams. It reflects the beauty and wonder of the world. But it is also a place that needs to be protected. Only those with a pure heart and a sense of wonder may enter." Lila's face lit up with a smile. "I've always believed in magic. I've dreamed of seeing this garden with my own eyes." Lyra's eyes softened. "Then you are truly welcome here. But before you go, there is something I must show you." With a wave of her tiny hand, Lyra led Lila to a large, ancient tree at the center of the garden. Its trunk was wide, and its branches reached up like arms toward the sky. At the base of the tree was a small door, intricately carved with symbols of stars and moons. "This is the Tree of Wishes," Lyra explained. "It holds the power to grant one true wish to someone with a heart full of dreams." Lila gazed at the tree in awe. "I don't know what to wish for. There are so many things I could ask for." Lyra nodded. "Think carefully, for your wish must come from the heart and reflect the true nature of what you desire most." Lila thought long and hard. She thought about her village and how the magic and wonder seemed to be missing from their lives. She thought about how much she wanted to share the beauty of the garden with her family and friends. Finally, she closed her eyes and made her wish. "I wish for the magic of this garden to bring joy and wonder to my village, so that everyone can feel the same happiness and wonder I feel now." The Tree of Wishes glowed softly as Lila spoke her wish. The leaves rustled, and the air seemed to hum with a gentle energy. Lyra smiled warmly at Lila. "Your wish is a beautiful one," Lyra said. "It is granted. The magic of the garden will now touch the hearts of your village." As Lila turned to leave, the garden seemed to embrace her with a warm, glowing light. She stepped back through the gate, which closed gently behind her, leaving her with a sense of peace and fulfillment. In the days that followed, the village began to change in wonderful ways. The fields flourished with vibrant flowers, the animals seemed to sing with joy, and the villagers found themselves smiling and laughing more than they had in years. The magic of the enchanted garden had spread its wonder to their lives, and the village was once again filled with the beauty and joy that Lila had wished for. And as for Lila, she never stopped believing in magic. She knew that it was not just in gardens or fairies, but in the dreams and kindness that lived in every heart. And so, the village thrived, always remembering the girl who believed in magic and made a wish for the happiness of others. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a great forest, there was a little girl named Eliza who loved to stargaze. Every night, she would sit on the hill behind her house, looking up at the twinkling stars and dreaming of adventures beyond the village. One crisp autumn evening, as Eliza was settling in for her nightly stargazing, she noticed a soft, glowing light moving through the forest. Intrigued, she decided to follow the light to see where it led. She grabbed a warm coat and a lantern for safety and ventured into the forest. The light led her to a beautiful clearing where an enormous, ancient oak tree stood. At the base of the tree was a small, ornate lantern glowing with a silvery light. Eliza approached the lantern and, as she picked it up, a voice spoke from the tree. "Greetings, Eliza. I am the spirit of the oak," the voice said. "This lantern holds the power to grant one special wish, but it must be used wisely. The magic of the lantern can bring joy and light, but it also has the ability to reveal hidden truths." Eliza was amazed but curious. "What should I wish for?" she asked the spirit of the oak. The spirit replied, "Think deeply about what truly matters to you, and your wish will reveal itself." Eliza thought about her village and her dreams of adventure. She wished to explore beyond the forest and see the wonders of the world. She made her wish with all her heart, and the lantern's light grew even brighter. In an instant, Eliza found herself standing at the edge of a magical land she had only ever dreamed of. The land was a breathtaking place filled with floating islands, shimmering rivers, and majestic creatures. A friendly dragon named Thorn flew down to greet her. Thorn was covered in iridescent scales and had wings that sparkled like diamonds. "Welcome to the land of moonlight," Thorn said. "I am the guardian of this realm. You are here because your wish has opened the gateway to our world. Let me show you the wonders that await." Thorn led Eliza on a grand tour of the magical land. They visited the Rainbow Falls, where the water cascaded in every color of the spectrum. They soared through the starry skies, where constellations danced and formed shapes that told ancient stories. They even explored the enchanted gardens, where flowers sang and trees told tales of old. During their journey, Eliza met many magical beings, talking animals, kind-hearted fairies, and wise old wizards. Each one shared their stories and knowledge with her, and Eliza learned about the balance and harmony that kept the land of moonlight in its enchanting state. However, as the night began to deepen, Eliza felt a pang of homesickness. She missed her village, her family, and her simple life. She realized that while the magical land was incredible, her heart yearned for home. She returned to the spirit of the oak with a heavy heart and spoke honestly about her feelings. The spirit listened and smiled warmly. "You have experienced the wonders of our world and learned valuable lessons. Now, it's time for you to return home with a heart full of memories and wisdom." With a wave of the spirit's hand, the lantern's light enveloped Eliza, and she was gently transported back to the clearing in the forest. The lantern had dimmed, its magic fulfilled. Eliza hugged it tightly and thanked the spirit of the oak for the extraordinary adventure. As she walked back to her village, Eliza felt a newfound appreciation for her home and the people she loved. She knew that while the world was full of wonders, the greatest joy came from the simple, everyday moments with those she cherished. Eliza's tale of the land of moonlight became a beloved story in the village. The villagers would gather around her, eager to hear about the magical adventures and the lessons she learned. And every autumn, Eliza would return to the ancient oak tree to visit the lantern, remembering the magic it had brought into her life and the wisdom it had given her. And so, Eliza lived happily ever after, carrying the light of her adventure in her heart and sharing its magic with everyone she met. In the heart of a lush, green valley, there lay a hidden village called Willow Glen. The village was known for its ancient willow tree, whose branches draped gracefully into a sparkling pond. This tree was said to possess magic that could grant one wish to those who proved themselves worthy. The village's guardian of the willow was a wise old woman named Elda, who knew all the secrets of the tree. One day, a young girl named Clara arrived in Willow Glen. She was on a quest to find her missing mother, who had mysteriously disappeared many moons ago. Clara had heard about the willow's magic and hoped it could help her find her mother. Elda welcomed Clara and listened to her story. The willow's magic is powerful, but to unlock it, you must complete 3 tasks that test your heart and spirit. Only then will the tree reveal the truth you seek. Determined to find her mother, Clara agreed to the tasks. Task 1, the Bridge of Courage. Clara's first task was to cross a rickety old bridge that spanned a deep chasm. The bridge was known for being unstable, with creaky wooden planks and a swift river below. As Clara approached, she noticed a small bird perched on the edge, chirping frantically. It turned out that the bird had lost its nest, which had fallen into the chasm. With great care, Clara used her courage and ingenuity. She tied vines together to create a makeshift rope and carefully descended into the chasm. There, she found the nest, gently retrieving it and climbing back up to the bridge. The grateful bird led Clara across the bridge, and as she reached the other side, the bridge steadied and became solid, allowing her to continue. Task 2, the Forest of Shadows. The second task led Clara into the Forest of Shadows, a place where darkness seemed to cling to every tree and path. The forest was said to be haunted by illusions and fears. Clara ventured in, her heart pounding as the shadows danced around her. In the midst of the forest, she encountered a giant, shadowy beast that blocked her way. Though frightened, Clara remembered the stories of her mother, who had taught her about kindness and bravery. She approached the beast and spoke softly, acknowledging its pain and fear. The beast, revealed to be a misunderstood spirit, was moved by Clara's compassion. It allowed her to pass and gave her a glowing crystal as a token of its gratitude. Task 3, the Lake of Truth. The final task was to seek the Lake of Truth, where Clara would find an answer to her quest. The lake was shrouded in mist, and its waters were still and mysterious. Clara approached the lake and gently placed the glowing crystal into the water. As the crystal touched the surface, the lake shimmered and a figure emerged, a vision of her mother, smiling warmly. Clara's heart soared with hope as her mother spoke through the mist. "I am safe, dear Clara. I chose to leave to protect you and our village from an ancient danger. The willow tree's magic has guided you here to find me, and now it is time for you to be brave and lead our people." The vision faded, and Clara felt a sense of peace and purpose. She returned to the village with the knowledge that her mother was safe and that she had been chosen to protect Willow Glen. Elda greeted Clara with pride and handed her a branch from the ancient willow tree. "You have completed the tasks with honor and bravery. The magic of the willow is now yours to protect and share." Clara embraced her new role, using the magic of the willow to bring prosperity and harmony to Willow Glen. The village flourished, and the ancient willow continued to stand tall, its magic a symbol of courage, love, and the strength found within. And so, Clara's journey became a cherished tale, passed down through generations, a reminder that even in the darkest times, bravery and kindness could light the way. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the mountains, there was a village nestled at the edge of a great and mysterious forest known as the Enchanted Grove. The villagers spoke in hushed tones about the magical creatures that roamed its depths and the ancient secrets hidden beneath its canopy. Among the villagers was a young girl named Alara, whose curiosity and bravery were well known. Unlike the other villagers who were content to live their lives near the forest's edge, Alara had always been fascinated by the stories of the Enchanted Grove. Her grandmother, who was the village storyteller, had filled her head with tales of magical beings and hidden treasures. One crisp autumn morning, as the leaves danced on the breeze and the sun peeked through the trees, Alara decided it was time to venture into the heart of the Enchanted Grove. She packed a small bag with essentials, some bread, cheese, a flask of water, and her grandmother's old compass, which had been in her family for generations. As Alara stepped into the forest, the air seemed to shimmer with enchantment. The trees were taller and grander than any she had ever seen, their leaves glowing with hues of gold and emerald. She followed a narrow path that wound deeper into the woods, guided by the compass that seemed to have a life of its own. After walking for a while, Alara came upon a glade bathed in a soft, golden light. In the center of the glade stood a majestic oak tree, its trunk wide and gnarled. At the base of the tree was a small door, intricately carved with symbols that seemed to pulse with a faint, magical glow. Alara hesitated for a moment but then mustered her courage and pushed the door open. To her amazement, it revealed a spiral staircase leading down into the earth. She descended slowly, her heart pounding with excitement. At the bottom of the stairs, Alara found herself in a large underground chamber filled with sparkling crystals and ancient artifacts. In the center of the chamber was a pedestal with a beautiful, ornate chest resting on top. The chest was covered in delicate engravings of mythical creatures and glowing with a soft, ethereal light. Alara approached the chest, her hands trembling with anticipation. She lifted the lid and found a collection of enchanted items, a shimmering cloak that changed colors with every movement, a silver flute that seemed to sing on its own, and a golden key that radiated warmth. As Alara examined the key, she noticed a small note hidden beneath it. The note read, "To the one who finds this treasure, a choice you must make. Use the gifts wisely, for they hold great power. One wish can be granted, but be true to your heart and the forest will guide you. Star." Alara pondered the note's message. She could use the key to unlock the chest's other secrets or make a wish. After much thought, she decided to use the wish to help her village, which had been suffering from a long drought. With a deep breath, Alara closed her eyes and made her wish, "I wish for rain to fall upon my village and bring prosperity to our land. Star." As she spoke the words, the golden key began to glow brightly, and a gentle, warm breeze filled the chamber. Alara felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. She knew that her wish had been heard. Returning to the surface, Alara made her way back to the village. As she approached, she was greeted by the joyful sight of dark, rain-filled clouds gathering overhead. The first raindrops began to fall, and soon the village was blessed with a steady, nourishing downpour. The villagers rejoiced, and Alara was hailed as a hero. She shared her tale of the enchanted grove and the magical gifts she had found. The village thrived once more, and Alara's bravery and kindness were celebrated for years to come. And so, the enchanted grove remained a place of wonder and magic, and Alara's story became a cherished legend, reminding all who heard it that true magic comes from the heart and the courage to make a wish for the greater good. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between towering mountains and lush forests, there lived a young princess named Lila. She was known far and wide for her kindness, wisdom, and beauty. Her long, golden hair shone like the sun, and her laughter was as sweet as a spring breeze. But what truly set Princess Lila apart was her voice. When she sang, the birds would stop to listen, the flowers would bloom a little brighter, and even the rivers seemed to dance to her melody. One day, as Princess Lila was walking in the royal gardens, she heard a strange sound. It was a soft, sad song carried on the wind, and it seemed to be coming from the direction of the great river. The great river was the lifeblood of the kingdom, winding its way through villages and fields, providing water and food for all who lived near it. But now, it seemed to be crying out in sorrow. Lila followed the sound until she reached the riverbank. There, she saw something that made her heart ache. The once clear waters of the great river were murky and slow, and the fish that usually swam happily in its depths were nowhere to be seen. The trees along the banks had lost their vibrant green leaves, and the air was heavy with sadness. As Lila knelt by the river, she noticed a small, shimmering figure appear in the water. It was a water sprite, a tiny, magical being who lived in the river and cared for its well-being. The sprite was crying, her tears mingling with the river's waters. "Why are you crying, little one?" Lila asked gently. The sprite looked up at her with tearful eyes. "Oh, Princess Lila, our river is dying. The magic that once flowed through it is fading, and soon it will dry up completely. Without the river, the kingdom will wither, and all who depend on it will suffer." Lila's heart filled with determination. "What can we do to save the river? There must be something." The sprite shook her head sadly. "The only way to save the river is to find the singing stone, a magical gem that lies hidden deep within the mountains. The stone's song is powerful enough to restore the river's magic, but no one has seen it for centuries. Many have tried to find it, but the journey is dangerous, and the path is filled with trials." Lila stood up, her resolve unwavering. "I will find the singing stone and save our river. Tell me where to begin, and I will set out at once." The sprite looked at Lila with hope in her eyes. "You are brave, princess. The journey will not be easy, but I believe in you. You must travel to the Mountain of Echoes, where the ancient guardian of the stone resides. He is the only one who can guide you to the stone's resting place." With the sprite's words as her guide, Lila returned to the castle and prepared for her journey. She packed a small bag with provisions, wrapped herself in a warm cloak, and set off towards the Mountain of Echoes. The people of the kingdom watched her go with admiration and fear, for they knew the dangers that lay ahead. The Mountain of Echoes. After several days of travel, Lila reached the foot of the Mountain of Echoes. The mountain was tall and imposing, with steep cliffs and narrow paths winding up its sides. As Lila began her ascent, she noticed that the air was filled with strange sounds, whispers, laughter, and even the echoes of her own footsteps. The mountain was alive with voices, some welcoming, others warning her to turn back. But Lila pressed on, her heart set on saving the river. As she climbed higher, the path became more treacherous, with loose rocks and sudden drops. But Lila was agile and sure-footed, and she made her way steadily upwards. After hours of climbing, Lila finally reached a plateau near the mountain's peak. There, she found a large cave, its entrance framed by ancient, twisted trees. The air was thick with magic, and Lila knew she had found the lair of the guardian. With a deep breath, Lila entered the cave. The darkness inside was almost complete, but as she ventured deeper, a soft glow began to illuminate the walls. The light came from crystals embedded in the stone, casting a gentle, ethereal glow. At the far end of the cave, Lila saw a figure sitting on a stone throne. The guardian was an old, wise-looking being, with long, silver hair and eyes that sparkled like the crystals around him. He was tall and imposing, but there was kindness in his gaze as he looked at Lila. "Welcome, Princess Lila," the guardian said in a voice that echoed gently through the cave. "I have been expecting you." Lila bowed respectfully. "Great guardian, I have come to seek the singing stone. The great river is dying, and without the stone's magic, our kingdom will wither away." The guardian nodded slowly. "I know of the river's plight, and I know the dangers you face. The path to the singing stone is fraught with trials, for only those with a pure heart and true courage can claim it. Are you prepared to face these trials, princess?" "I am," Lila replied, her voice steady. "I will do whatever it takes to save my people." The guardian rose from his throne and held out a hand. "Very well. Take this crystal," he said, handing her a small, glowing crystal. "It will guide you through the darkness and protect you from the illusions that will try to lead you astray. Follow the path beyond this cave, and you will find the entrance to the Chamber of Trials. There, you must prove your worth." Lila accepted the crystal with gratitude and, after thanking the guardian, set out once more. The path beyond the cave was dark and narrow, but the crystal's light guided her safely through. After what seemed like an eternity, she reached a large stone door, covered in ancient runes. Taking a deep breath, Lila pushed the door open and stepped into the Chamber of Trials. The Chamber of Trials was a vast, circular room with high, vaulted ceilings. The walls were covered in intricate carvings, depicting scenes of bravery and wisdom. In the center of the chamber stood 3 stone pedestals, each holding a different object. As Lila approached, a voice echoed through the chamber. "Princess Lila, You must face 3 trials to prove your worth. Each trial will test a different aspect of your character. Only by succeeding in all 3 can you claim the singing stone. Lila nodded, ready to begin. The first pedestal held a golden scale, perfectly balanced. The voice spoke again, the first trial is the trial of justice. You must weigh your heart against the feather of truth. If your heart is just and pure, the scales will remain balanced. Lila placed her hand on the scale, and a soft feather appeared on the other side. The scales wavered for a moment, but then settled back into perfect balance. Lila smiled, knowing she had passed the first trial. The second pedestal held a single, glowing flower. The voice spoke again, the second trial is the trial of compassion. You must take this flower and use its magic to heal the wounds of those who suffer. Lila gently picked up the flower, and as she did, a vision appeared before her. She saw a wounded bird, its wing broken and its eyes full of pain. Without hesitation, Lila touched the flower to the bird's wing, and it began to heal. The bird chirped with joy and flew away, free and whole once more. The vision faded, and Lila knew she had passed the second trial. The third pedestal held a mirror, its surface shining like the moon. The voice spoke one last time, the final trial is the trial of courage. You must face your greatest fear and overcome it. Lila gazed into the mirror, and as she did, her reflection began to change. She saw herself standing alone in the middle of a dark, stormy sea, with waves crashing all around her. The wind howled, and the sky was filled with lightning. But Lila stood firm, her heart filled with courage. "I am not afraid," she whispered, and as she spoke the words, the storm began to calm. The sea grew still, and the sky cleared. Lila's reflection smiled back at her, and the mirror returned to normal. With the third trial complete, the voice spoke once more. "You have proven your worth, Princess Lila. The singing stone is yours." A hidden door in the wall opened, revealing a small chamber bathed in golden light. In the center of the chamber, resting on a velvet cushion, was the singing stone. It was a beautiful gem, shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow, and as Lila approached, she could hear its soft, melodious song. Lila carefully picked up the stone, and as she did, the chamber filled with its music. The sound was like nothing she had ever heard before, pure, joyful, and full of life. She knew that with this stone, she could save the great river. The river's return with the singing stone in hand, Lila made her way back down the mountain. The journey was quicker this time, as if the mountain itself was guiding her safely home. When she reached the foot of the mountain, she found the water sprite waiting for her by the riverbank. "Princess Lila, you have returned," the sprite cried with joy. "Did you find the singing stone?" Lila nodded and held out the stone. "I did. And now we must use its magic to restore the river." The sprite guided Lila to the center of the river, where the water was still slow and murky. Lila held the singing stone above the water and began to sing. Her voice, combined with the stone's melody, filled the air with a beautiful, powerful song. As Lila sang, the river began to change. The water cleared, turning a brilliant shade of blue. The fish returned, swimming happily in the restored waters. The trees along the banks regained their leaves, and the flowers bloomed brighter than ever before. The great river was alive once more, its magic restored. The people of the kingdom rejoiced when they saw the river's return. They gathered along the banks to celebrate, singing and dancing in gratitude for their brave princess. Lila was welcomed back as a hero, and the story of her journey spread far and wide. And so, the kingdom flourished, with the great river flowing strong and pure. Princess Lila continued to rule with wisdom and kindness, and the singing stone remained a symbol of hope and courage for generations to come. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village called Green Hollow, there was a legend about a magical spring hidden deep within the Whispering Woods. This spring, known as the Heart Spring, was said to grant a single wish to anyone who could find it. However, it had been lost to time, and no one had seen it for many years. In Green Hollow lived a young boy named Leo. Leo was known for his curiosity and kind heart. He loved listening to the old stories and helping his neighbors. One day, the village faced a terrible drought. The fields were parched, and the river that flowed through Green Hollow had dried up. The villagers were worried, and they remembered the old tale of the Heart Spring. Determined to help, Leo decided he would find the Heart Spring and make a wish to bring water back to the village. Early one morning, with a small backpack filled with essentials, Leo set off into the Whispering Woods. The forest was dense and filled with ancient trees that seemed to whisper secrets. As Leo walked, he noticed a golden light filtering through the trees. He followed the light until he came across a wise, old fox with fur that shimmered like the sun. "Greetings, young traveler," said the fox. "I am Eldrick, the guardian of these woods. To find the Heart Spring, you must pass 3 trials. Only then will you uncover the path to its hidden location." Leo nodded, ready for the challenge. Eldrick explained the first trial, the trial of courage. Beyond the misty glade lies a cavern guarded by a fierce, enchanted serpent. You must enter the cavern and retrieve a crystal that will guide you further. With bravery, Leo reached the misty glade and found the cavern entrance. Inside, the cavern was dark and filled with eerie echoes. At its center, a large, shimmering serpent coiled around the glowing crystal. Leo took a deep breath and approached the serpent with calm confidence. "I seek only the crystal to help my village," Leo said. The serpent, sensing his sincerity, allowed him to take the crystal, which glowed brightly in his hand. The second trial was the trial of wisdom. Eldrick directed Leo to a large, ancient oak tree with a riddle carved into its bark. The riddle read, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? Star." Leo thought carefully and recalled the stories he had heard about echoes. With a smile, he answered, "An echo." The tree's bark shimmered, and a hidden passage opened, leading Leo to a sparkling river that flowed with clear, cool water. The third and final trial was the trial of kindness. Leo found a small, injured fawn by the riverbank. Its leg was caught in a trap, and it looked at Leo with trusting eyes. Leo carefully freed the fawn and tended to its wound using some herbs from his backpack. The fawn nuzzled Leo gratefully and then led him to a hidden grove. In the center of the grove was a beautiful, crystal-clear spring, the Heart Spring. Its waters sparkled like diamonds, and a soft, magical melody filled the air. Leo approached the spring and made his wish with a full heart. "I wish for the waters of the Heart Spring to return to my village so that my people and their land may thrive once more." The Heart Spring glowed brightly, and a gentle rain began to fall, nourishing the land. Leo felt a sense of warmth and satisfaction as he watched the spring's waters flow towards the Whispering Woods and eventually towards Green Hollow. When Leo returned to the village, the fields were green again, and the river was flowing with fresh, life-giving water. The villagers rejoiced, praising Leo for his bravery, wisdom, and kindness. The tale of the Heart Spring and Leo's quest became a cherished story in Green Hollow, passed down through generations. And so, the village thrived once more, its fields lush and its waters flowing, forever grateful for the heart of a courageous boy who restored the magic of the Heart Spring. The end. Once upon a time, high above the clouds in a hidden kingdom, there lived a princess named Elara. She was not like any ordinary princess, for Elara had wings as white as the clouds themselves, allowing her to soar above her kingdom. The kingdom was called Etheria, and it floated in the sky, tethered to the earth by ancient, unseen threads of magic. Princess Elara loved her kingdom dearly. She would spend hours each day flying over the fields of golden light and sparkling rivers of the sky. The people of Etheria admired their kind and free-spirited princess, but none loved her more than her father, King Orion. He was a wise ruler, but there was one thing that worried him. Elara had never seen the world below the clouds, the world of the earth. "The world below is dangerous," he often warned. "It is full of shadows and storms. You must promise me, Elara, that you will never fly down to the earth." Elara promised, but deep down, curiosity tugged at her heart. What could be so different about the world below? Why did the clouds shield them from the earth's surface? One evening, while flying near the edge of the kingdom, Elara spotted something strange, a golden feather drifting up from the clouds. It sparkled in the light of the setting sun, and she knew it was not from any creature of Etheria. Her heart raced. The feather seemed to carry with it a mystery, a secret calling her to follow. Without a second thought, Elara dived through the clouds, chasing the golden feather as it twirled and danced on the breeze. Down, down she flew, breaking through the thick layer of clouds for the first time in her life. The world below was vast and green, with forests that stretched as far as the eye could see and oceans that shimmered like sapphire. But the feather did not land in the peaceful fields or sparkling waters. It drifted towards a dark, twisted forest known as the Shadowwood, a place of legend and fear. As soon as Elara touched the ground at the edge of the forest, the feather vanished into the shadows. Elara knew she should turn back. She had promised her father never to descend to earth, and this forest was surely full of dangers. But her curiosity overpowered her caution. With wings tucked close to her back, she stepped into the forest. The trees of the Shadowwood were tall and gnarled, their branches like claws reaching for the sky. Strange whispers filled the air, but Elara pressed on, guided by an invisible force. Deeper into the forest she went, until she came upon a small clearing where a glowing, ancient tree stood. Its bark was silver, and at its base sat a woman draped in shimmering robes of gold. The woman looked up at Elara and smiled. "I've been waiting for you, Princess Elara." Elara blinked in surprise. "How do you know who I am?" "I know all who fly through the skies," said the woman. "I am Oriole, guardian of the winds. It was I who sent the golden feather to guide you here." "Why?" asked Elara, her wings twitching nervously. "My father warned me never to come to earth." Oriole's smile faded slightly, and her eyes grew thoughtful. "Your father is wise, but he has forgotten something important. Long ago, the people of Etheria and the earth lived in harmony, but that connection has been lost over time. The golden feather is a symbol of the bond between our worlds. It has been broken for too long." Elara listened closely, her heart stirring with the weight of Oriole's words. "The earth has grown dark in places," Oriole continued, "but it can be healed. You, Elara, have the heart of both the sky and the earth. You can help restore the balance." "But what can I do?" Elara asked, feeling small in the presence of the guardian. "Take this," said Oriole, and she handed Elara a small, golden seed. "Plant this in the darkest part of the forest. It is a seed of light, and where it grows, the shadows will fade. Only you can plant it, for your heart carries the magic of the skies." Elara took the seed carefully, feeling its warmth in her hand. She knew this was why she had been drawn to the earth. Oriole pointed to the heart of the forest, where the trees grew thickest and no light could reach. "Go there, Elara, and be brave." With a deep breath, Elara thanked the guardian and ventured into the darkest part of the Shadowwood. The shadows whispered to her, trying to frighten her, but she held the golden seed close and continued forward. After what felt like an eternity, she reached a clearing so dark that even her wings felt heavy with the weight of it. "This is the place," she whispered to herself. With trembling hands, Elara knelt and dug a small hole in the cold earth. She placed the golden seed into the ground and covered it with soil. For a moment, nothing happened, and Elara feared the shadows had won. But then, a faint light began to shine from the ground. It grew brighter and brighter until a single golden sprout broke through the soil. The shadows hissed and shrank away, and the trees that had loomed so menacingly began to turn green and full of life. The light spread, chasing the darkness from the entire forest. Elara stood back, her heart swelling with joy. The forest was no longer a place of shadows, it was full of light, life, and beauty. As she flew back to Etheria, Elara carried with her the memory of the golden seed and the lesson she had learned. The earth and sky were meant to be connected, and it was her duty to help heal both. When she returned home, her father, King Orion, looked at her with worry, but Elara smiled and told him the story of her journey. And though he had feared the world below, He knew in his heart that Alara had done something extraordinary. From that day forward, Princess Alara was known as the Sky Princess who brought light to the earth, and the golden feather became a symbol of hope and unity between the sky and the world below. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and enchanted forests, there was a bustling village named Fernwood. Fernwood was known for its vibrant gardens, warm-hearted people, and the mysterious moonlit grove at the edge of the village. The grove was said to be a place of magic and wonder, visited only when the moon was full. In Fernwood lived a kind-hearted girl named Alara. Alara was known for her love of animals and her curiosity about the world. Every month, on the night of the full moon, she would visit the moonlit grove, hoping to uncover its secrets. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Alara ventured into the grove, guided by its soft, silver light. As she wandered among the ancient trees, she noticed a faint, melodious tune coming from deep within the grove. Following the music, she discovered a hidden clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center of the clearing was a beautiful, glowing pond. Around the pond danced tiny, ethereal fairies whose wings sparkled like diamonds. At the edge of the pond, on a grand stone pedestal, was a magnificent crystal known as the Moonstone. Its light was mesmerizing, casting gentle reflections across the water. As Alara approached the Moonstone, a soft, musical voice spoke from the pond. "Welcome, Alara. You have been chosen for a special task." Alara looked around in awe. "Who are you? How do you know my name?" The voice responded, "I am the guardian of the Moonstone. The Moonstone holds the power to protect our world from encroaching darkness, but its magic has begun to fade. To restore its power, you must embark on a journey to find the lost fragments of the Moonstone scattered across the kingdom." Alara felt a surge of excitement and determination. "I will find the fragments and restore the Moonstone's magic." The guardian nodded. "Your first fragment is hidden in the Whispering Caves, deep within the Frosted Mountains. Each fragment is guarded by a challenge that will test your heart and courage." With a newfound sense of purpose, Alara set off on her quest. Her journey took her through the Frosted Mountains, where she braved icy winds and treacherous paths to reach the Whispering Caves. Inside the caves, she encountered a labyrinth of shimmering ice formations. At the heart of the labyrinth, Alara found the first fragment of the Moonstone, encased in a block of ice. To retrieve it, she had to solve a riddle spoken by a magical ice spirit. "I am not alive, but I grow. I do not have lungs, but I need air. I do not have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Alara thought carefully and answered, "A fire." The ice spirit granted her passage, and Alara retrieved the fragment. She continued her journey, guided by the light of the Moonstone. The second fragment was hidden in the enchanted forest, guarded by a wise old tree. The tree posed a challenge that required Alara to demonstrate her kindness. A small, injured squirrel needed help, and Alara carefully tended to its wounds and provided it with food. The grateful squirrel led her to the second fragment, hidden beneath its nest. Alara's final challenge took her to the desert of shifting sands. The last fragment was buried in the vast desert, and she had to navigate the ever-changing dunes to find it. Along the way, she encountered a weary traveler in need of assistance. Alara shared her provisions and guided the traveler to safety, earning the traveler's gratitude and the final fragment. With all three fragments in hand, Alara returned to the moonlit grove. The fairies greeted her with joy, and she placed the fragments around the Moonstone. As the fragments were set in place, the Moonstone's light grew brighter and more vibrant, filling the grove with a warm, protective glow. The guardian of the Moonstone appeared and thanked Alara. "You have restored the Moonstone's power and saved our world from darkness. Your bravery and kindness have proven your worth." Alara smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. The Moonstone's magic continued to shine brightly, protecting Fernwood and its surrounding lands. Alara returned to her village as a hero, and her tale of adventure and bravery became a cherished story in Fernwood. The moonlit grove remained a place of wonder and magic, and Alara's kindness and courage continued to inspire all who heard her story. And so, the kingdom flourished under the protection of the Moonstone, and Alara's heart remained full of adventure and joy. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a cozy little village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a curious kitten named Kiki. Kiki had bright green eyes, soft gray fur, and an insatiable curiosity about the world around her. While the other kittens in the village were content to play with yarn and chase butterflies, Kiki always dreamed of discovering new and exciting places. One sunny morning, as Kiki was exploring the outskirts of the village, she stumbled upon an old, forgotten path overgrown with ivy and wildflowers. Her whiskers twitched with excitement as she sniffed the air. She had never seen this path before, and her adventurous spirit urged her to follow it. Kiki trotted down the path, her paws making soft sounds on the moss-covered ground. The further she went, the more magical the surroundings became. Birds with bright plumage sang sweet melodies, and butterflies of every color danced around her. After a while, Kiki reached a tall, ancient wooden gate covered in vines. With a gentle push of her paw, the gate creaked open, revealing a hidden garden. It was the most beautiful place Kiki had ever seen. The garden was filled with vibrant flowers, tall trees with golden leaves, and a sparkling stream that wound its way through the center. At the heart of the garden stood a magnificent fountain, its water glistening in the sunlight. As Kiki explored the garden, she noticed something unusual about the fountain. At its base was an intricate mosaic depicting a story. It showed a young girl and a kitten, just like Kiki, discovering the garden and embarking on a grand adventure. Curiosity piqued, Kiki examined the mosaic closely and found a hidden compartment. Inside was a small, ornate key. "I wonder what this opens," Kiki thought, her green eyes sparkling with anticipation. Just then, a soft voice called out, "Hello, little kitten. What brings you to our magical garden?" Kiki turned to see a graceful, shimmering fairy with delicate wings fluttering nearby. The fairy introduced herself as Lila, the guardian of the hidden garden. "Hello, Lila," Kiki replied. "I found this key near the fountain. Do you know what it opens?" Lila smiled kindly. "That key unlocks the door to the enchanted glade, a place filled with wonders and secrets. But the journey to the glade is not easy. You must be brave and kind-hearted to reach it." Kiki felt a mix of excitement and determination. "I'm ready for the adventure," she said confidently. Lila nodded and pointed to a small, hidden door at the edge of the garden. Kiki approached the door, inserted the key, and with a soft click, it opened. Beyond the door lay a path lined with glowing flowers and twinkling lights. As Kiki ventured down the path, she encountered various magical creatures. She helped a family of fireflies find their lost child, guided a confused hedgehog back to his home, and shared her food with a hungry rabbit. With each act of kindness, the path grew brighter, and Kiki felt more confident. Finally, after what seemed like a long journey, Kiki reached the enchanted glade. It was a breathtaking sight. The glade was filled with the soft glow of bioluminescent plants, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of jasmine. In the center of the glade was a large, ancient tree with golden bark and silver leaves. At the base of the tree was a small door, much like the one in the garden. Kiki used the key one last time, and the door opened to reveal a hidden chamber filled with treasures, shimmering crystals, golden trinkets, and a book bound in velvet. Kiki carefully opened the book, and to her surprise, it told the story of her journey, the friends she had helped and the challenges she had overcome. At the end of the story, it read, "The greatest treasure of all is the kindness and courage you have shown." Just then, Lila appeared beside her. "You have done well, Kiki," she said softly. "This glade and its treasures are a reward for your bravery and kindness. You are always welcome here." Kiki's heart swelled with pride and happiness. She thanked Lila and promised to return. With the key in her paw, she made her way back to the hidden garden and through the old gate, returning to the village. The other kittens greeted her with wide eyes and eager questions about her adventure. Kiki shared her story, and from that day on, she was known as the bravest and kindest kitten in the village. Kiki continued to explore, always ready for the next adventure, and she never forgot the magical garden and the enchanted glade. She kept the key close, a reminder of the incredible journey and the friends she had made along the way. And so, Kiki the curious kitten lived happily, with a heart full of kindness and a spirit always eager for the next adventure. The end. Once upon a time, in a charming village surrounded by rolling hills and blooming meadows, there lived an elderly woman named Granny Rose. Granny Rose was known far and wide for her exquisite quilts, each one more beautiful than the last. Her quilts were not just pieces of fabric, they were woven with love, magic, and stories from the heart. One cold winter evening, as snowflakes danced in the moonlight, Granny Rose received a visitor at her cozy cottage. It was a young girl named Lila, who had heard tales of Granny Rose's magical quilts. Lila's village was suffering from a harsh winter, and her family was struggling to stay warm. Granny Rose, Lila said with hope in her eyes, "I've heard that your quilts have a touch of magic. Can you help my village? We need warmth and hope." Granny Rose smiled warmly. "I will help you, dear. But first, you must embark on a quest to find the 4 pieces of fabric that hold the essence of the 4 seasons. Each piece has a special power, and together they will create a quilt that can bring warmth and magic." Lila eagerly accepted the challenge. Granny Rose handed her a small, enchanted pouch and said, "This pouch will guide you on your journey. Trust in its magic and follow your heart." With the pouch in hand, Lila set out on her quest. Her first destination was the Forest of Autumn. The trees were ablaze with orange, red, and gold leaves. As Lila walked through the forest, she came across a wise old fox named Oliver. "Hello, young traveler," Oliver said. "I can help you find the autumn fabric, but first, you must solve my riddle. What has keys but can't open locks, and is played with but never touched?" Lila thought carefully and answered, "A piano." Oliver nodded approvingly and led her to a glade where the autumn fabric was hidden beneath a blanket of fallen leaves. The fabric was rich with the colors of fall and shimmered with a warm, golden glow. Lila carefully placed it in her pouch and thanked Oliver before moving on to her next destination. The second piece was in the winter's peak, a snowy mountain covered in a thick layer of ice. As Lila climbed the mountain, she encountered a friendly snow hare named Elsa. "To find the winter fabric, you must complete a challenge," Elsa said. "Help me gather snowflakes to build a beautiful ice sculpture." Lila eagerly helped Elsa collect delicate snowflakes and shape them into a magnificent sculpture. Once they finished, Elsa revealed the winter fabric, which was as white and sparkling as freshly fallen snow. Lila placed the fabric in her pouch and continued her journey. The third piece was located in the spring meadow, a vibrant field of blooming flowers and singing birds. In the heart of the meadow, Lila met a cheerful butterfly named Bella. "Welcome to spring," Bella said. "To earn the spring fabric, you must help me pollinate the flowers and make the meadow bloom even brighter." Lila and Bella worked together, buzzing from flower to flower. As they finished, the meadow burst into an even more brilliant display of colors. Bella gifted Lila the spring fabric, adorned with the colors of blooming flowers and the scent of new beginnings. With the spring fabric safely in her pouch, Lila's final destination was the summer grove, a lush, sunlit forest filled with the warmth of summer. There, she encountered a wise old owl named Orion. "To find the summer fabric, you must share a story of kindness," Orion said. Lila thought of her family and village, and she shared a heartfelt story about how the villagers had once come together to help each other during a difficult time. Orion was moved by Lila's story and presented her with the summer fabric, which radiated with the bright, golden hues of summer. With all 4 pieces of fabric, Lila returned to Granny Rose's cottage. Granny Rose began to weave the fabrics together, creating a quilt that was not only beautiful but also infused with the magic of the seasons. Each stitch was filled with warmth and hope. When the quilt was complete, Granny Rose handed it to Lila. "This quilt will bring warmth and joy to your village," she said. "May it remind you of the magic that comes from love and kindness." Lila returned to her village and spread the quilt across the center of the village square. As the quilt touched the ground, It radiated a warm, comforting glow. The villagers gathered around, and they felt the cold winter's chill vanish, replaced by a cozy warmth and a renewed sense of hope. The village flourished with the magic of the quilt, and the story of Lila's quest and Granny Rose's enchantment became a cherished tale, reminding everyone of the power of love, kindness, and the magic that lies within. And they lived happily ever after. The end. The Enchanted Compass. Once upon a time, in a quiet coastal village surrounded by majestic cliffs and misty seas, there was a young girl named Mira who dreamed of adventures beyond the horizon. Mira had always been fascinated by the tales of distant lands told by sailors who visited the village. Her father, a fisherman, would often share stories of his voyages, which only fueled her longing for exploration. One day, while exploring the attic of her family's cottage, Mira discovered an old, dusty chest. Inside, she found a beautifully crafted compass with intricate designs etched into its brass surface. The compass needle didn't point north; instead, it spun wildly and seemed to be enchanted. There was a note tucked inside the chest that read, "To find your true path, follow where the compass leads, but beware of the challenges it brings." The call to adventure excited by her discovery, Mira decided to follow the compass's guidance. She packed a small satchel with essentials and set out toward the cliffs, where the compass needle pointed. As she ventured beyond familiar paths, the landscape transformed, becoming wilder and more magical. Mira's first challenge was a swirling river that seemed impossible to cross. The compass's needle spun in the direction of a hidden stone path beneath the water. Using the compass as her guide, Mira carefully stepped on the stones, which glowed faintly with each step she took. She reached the other side safely, her heart filled with determination. The Forest of Whispers. The compass led Mira into a dense, enchanted forest known as the Forest of Whispers. The trees were tall and ancient, and their leaves rustled with secrets. As Mira walked, she noticed that the forest seemed to whisper her name, and the path was increasingly difficult to follow. In the heart of the forest, she met a wise old owl named Orion, who perched on a branch. Orion spoke, "To continue on your journey, you must solve the riddle of the forest. Only then will the path become clear." The riddle was, "I have keys but open no locks, I have space but no room, you can enter but not go outside. What am I?" Mira thought for a moment and then answered confidently, "A piano." Orion nodded, pleased with her answer, and the forest paths began to illuminate, guiding her further along. The Isle of Echoes. The compass now directed Mira to a rocky shore where a small boat awaited her. She rowed across the sea to the Isle of Echoes, a mystical island said to be inhabited by elusive sea spirits. The island was surrounded by a fog that made it hard to see. As she stepped onto the island, the fog parted to reveal a grand, ancient lighthouse. At the lighthouse's base was a large, intricately carved door with a locking mechanism that matched the compass's design. Mira realized that the compass was not just a guide but also the key. She inserted the compass into the lock, and the door creaked open to reveal a hidden chamber. Inside, she found a beautiful, glowing pearl resting on a velvet cushion. The pearl's light was warm and inviting, and Mira felt an immediate sense of peace. The return journey. With the pearl in hand, Mira retraced her steps, following the compass as it led her back to the village. Along the way, she encountered the challenges she had faced before but now found them easier to overcome, as if the pearl had granted her newfound confidence and insight. When she returned, the villagers were amazed by her adventure. The pearl was placed in the village square as a symbol of courage and discovery. Mira's journey became legendary, inspiring others to follow their dreams and embrace their own adventures. The enchanted compass was carefully stored in the village's small museum, a reminder of Mira's bravery and the magic that lies beyond the horizon. A new beginning. Mira's tales of her adventure continued to captivate the villagers and beyond. She grew up to become a renowned explorer, traveling far and wide, always guided by the spirit of her first adventure and the lessons learned from the enchanted compass. And so, the village thrived, always remembering the girl who followed her dreams and discovered a world of magic and wonder beyond their shores. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering lake, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Lila. Her family was known for their beautiful handcrafted lanterns that illuminated the village during the night. Each lantern was made with love and magic, passed down through generations. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the village prepared for the annual Lantern Festival, Lila's mother fell ill. Without her guidance, Lila was left to complete the final lantern, a special one meant to bring prosperity and joy to the village for the coming year. Lila worked tirelessly, but as the night grew darker, the lantern remained incomplete. She was just about to give up when she noticed a faint glow coming from the edge of the forest nearby. Curiosity piqued, she decided to follow the light. Through the whispering trees and over the sparkling stream, Lila ventured deeper into the forest until she arrived at a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. There, hovering above a small, ancient pedestal, was a lantern unlike any she had ever seen. Its light was soft and inviting, with colors dancing like the northern lights. Just as Lila reached out to touch it, a gentle voice spoke from behind her. "Greetings, young one," said a wise old woman with eyes like the twilight sky. "I am the guardian of the enchanted lantern. This lantern holds the magic of dreams and wishes." Lila, surprised but determined, explained her predicament. "I need to complete the lantern for the festival. My mother is ill, and I don't know if I can finish it in time." The guardian listened intently. "This lantern can help you, but its magic must be used wisely. It can grant one wish, but only if it is made with pure intentions and a true heart." Lila thought for a moment. She wished for her village to be blessed with happiness and prosperity for the coming year. With a deep breath, she made her wish and touched the enchanted lantern. The lantern's light grew brighter, and a warm breeze swirled around Lila, carrying the magic of her wish into the night sky. The guardian smiled kindly. "You have chosen well. Your heart is pure, and your wish is selfless." As Lila made her way back to the village, she found that the lantern she had been working on was now glowing with the same magical light she had seen in the forest. With renewed energy, she finished decorating it with intricate patterns and vibrant colors. The Lantern Festival began, and as each lantern was lit, the village was bathed in a warm, enchanting glow. The magic of the enchanted lantern spread throughout the village, bringing joy, prosperity, and a sense of unity. Lila's mother, feeling the magic's touch, began to recover. The village celebrated with great festivities, knowing that their wishes had been granted. Lila's selflessness and the magic of the enchanted lantern had made the festival one to remember. And so, under the shimmering lights of the Lantern Festival, Lila and her village lived happily ever after, knowing that the true magic of the lanterns came from the kindness and love shared by those who made them. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom called Eldoria, there was a small village named Willowbrook. The village was named after a magnificent willow tree that stood at its center. This willow tree was no ordinary tree, it was the Whispering Willow, known for its ability to share wisdom and secrets with those who listened carefully. In Willowbrook lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was kind-hearted, adventurous, and always eager to learn new things. She loved spending time by the Whispering Willow, listening to its gentle murmurs and dreaming of far-off lands and exciting adventures. One day, as Elara sat under the tree, she heard a soft, urgent whisper. The willow told her of a hidden kingdom beyond the great mountains where a powerful enchantress had cast a spell, plunging the land into eternal darkness. The enchantress had stolen the Heart of Light, a magical gem that kept the kingdom bright and prosperous. Without it, the hidden kingdom was doomed. Determined to help, Elara set off on a quest to find the hidden kingdom and retrieve the Heart of Light. She packed some provisions, said goodbye to her family, and set out on her journey. As Elara traveled through dense forests and crossed swift rivers, she encountered a wise old fox named Finn. Finn had heard of Elara's quest and offered to accompany her. "The road ahead is fraught with dangers," he said, "but together, we can overcome them." Elara gratefully accepted Finn's help, and the two continued their journey. They traveled for days, facing many challenges along the way. They crossed the treacherous moonlit marsh, where they were guided by glowing fireflies, and climbed the towering crystal cliffs, where they met a kind-hearted eagle named Alicia, who gave them a ride across the chasm. One evening, as they camped under the stars, an old woman appeared before them. She was the enchantress of the enchanted forest, who had heard of their quest and wanted to help. She gave Alara a silver locket and said, "This locket holds a piece of the heart of light. It will guide you to the hidden kingdom and protect you from the enchantress's dark magic." With renewed hope, Alara, Finn, and Alicia continued their journey. The locket's light guided them through the darkest parts of the forest and over the highest mountains. Finally, they arrived at the hidden kingdom, shrouded in shadows and despair. The enchantress's castle stood tall and ominous in the distance. As they approached, the enchantress appeared before them, her eyes filled with malice. "You dare to challenge me?" she sneered. "You will never retrieve the heart of light." Alara stepped forward, holding the silver locket. "I believe in the power of light and love," she said boldly. "And I will not let you keep this kingdom in darkness." The enchantress laughed and summoned a storm of dark magic. But as the magic swirled around them, the locket glowed brighter and brighter. The light from the locket enveloped Alara, Finn, and Alicia, protecting them from the enchantress's spells. With a burst of courage, Alara held the locket high. Its light pierced through the darkness and shattered the enchantress's magic. The enchantress cried out in defeat and vanished into the shadows. Alara and her companions entered the castle and found the heart of light, hidden in a dark chamber. As Alara touched the gem, it began to glow, filling the room with radiant light. The kingdom was restored, and the people rejoiced as the darkness lifted. Alara, Finn, and Alicia returned to Willowbrook, heroes of their time. The Whispering Willow welcomed them back with joyful whispers, sharing their story with all who would listen. The village celebrated their bravery and the return of light to the hidden kingdom. And so, Alara's name became a legend in Eldoria, a tale of courage, friendship, and the power of light over darkness. The Whispering Willow continued to share its wisdom, and Alara lived a life full of adventures, always guided by the light within her heart. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed the tale. In the heart of a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests, there was a small, charming shop known as the Clockwork Cottage. This shop, with its wooden sign and intricately carved door, belonged to an elderly clockmaker named Mr. Thorne. His clocks were renowned for their beauty and precision, but what truly set them apart was the enchanting magic that seemed to linger within their gears and springs. Mr. Thorne was a kind man with twinkling eyes and a gentle smile. Though he was known for his skill, he was also known for his mysterious habit of working late into the night, never allowing anyone to see his latest creations. The village folk often whispered that his clocks were not just timekeepers but held secrets of their own. One crisp autumn evening, a young girl named Lila, curious and adventurous, decided to visit the Clockwork Cottage. Lila was known for her inquisitive nature and had always been fascinated by Mr. Thorne's clocks. She had heard tales of their magic and wanted to uncover the truth. As she approached the shop, she noticed a soft, golden light emanating from within. The door creaked open as she touched the handle, and she stepped into the cozy interior, where the air was filled with the soothing tick-tock of countless clocks. The walls were lined with timepieces of all shapes and sizes, their faces adorned with delicate engravings. Mr. Thorne looked up from his workbench, where he was meticulously assembling a new clock. "Ah, Lila," he said with a warm smile. "What brings you to my shop this evening?" "I've always been curious about your clocks," Lila admitted. "I've heard they're magical." "Is it true?" Mr. Thorne chuckled softly. "Magic, you say? Perhaps there is a bit of truth in that. But magic, like time, is a delicate thing. It requires care and understanding." Intrigued, Lila asked, "Can you show me one of your magical creations?" Mr. Thorne's eyes sparkled with mischief. "Very well. But first, you must solve a small puzzle. If you do, I will show you something truly wondrous." He handed Lila an ornate pocket watch with intricate designs etched into its surface. "This is no ordinary watch. It holds a secret, but to unlock it, you must answer a riddle." Lila accepted the challenge eagerly. Mr. Thorne's riddle was, I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness follows me. What am I? Lila pondered the riddle, her brow furrowing in concentration. After a few moments, she smiled and answered, a cloud. Mr. Thorne's eyes widened with approval. You are correct. Now, let me show you the magic within. He opened the pocket watch, revealing a tiny, hidden compartment. Inside was a miniature, beautifully detailed scene of a moonlit meadow with dancing fireflies. The scene seemed to come alive with a gentle, enchanting glow. This is the enchanted clock, Mr. Thorne explained. It can grant a single wish to those who truly understand the value of time and magic. But be cautious, wishes made with this clock must be for the greater good. Lila gazed in awe at the miniature world within the watch. She thought carefully about her wish. Her heart was full of dreams, but she wanted to make sure her wish would help others as well. After a moment's thought, Lila said, I wish for the village to always have a place of warmth and joy, where people can gather and share their stories. Mr. Thorne nodded approvingly and carefully closed the pocket watch. A selfless wish, indeed. He then placed the watch on a shelf and took out an old, ornate key. Come with me, he said, leading Lila to a hidden door at the back of the shop. The key unlocked the door, revealing a secret room filled with clocks of every shape and size, each more beautiful and intricate than the last. In the center of the room was a grand clock with a golden face and celestial designs. This is the heart of time, Mr. Thorne said. It holds the magic of all the clocks I have ever created. Your wish will be fulfilled through its enchantment. As Lila watched, Mr. Thorne gently placed the enchanted clock on the grand clock's pedestal. The entire room filled with a soft, golden light, and the magic of the clocks began to weave together. The next morning, the village awoke to find a new addition to their community, a beautiful, cozy pavilion in the village square, adorned with twinkling lights and colorful banners. The pavilion became a beloved gathering place, where people could come together to share stories, celebrate, and find comfort. The village flourished under the influence of the pavilion's magic, and its warmth and joy became a cherished part of their lives. Lila's wish had brought a lasting gift to the community, and the Clockwork Cottage continued to be a place of wonder and enchantment. And so, the legend of the enchanted clock lived on, reminding everyone that true magic is found not in the wishes we make for ourselves but in the joy and love we bring to others. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where flowers whispered secrets and trees sang lullabies, there was a hidden garden known only to the moon and the stars. This enchanted garden was a place of wonder, where flowers glowed with their own light and the air was filled with the scent of magic. It was ruled by a gentle fairy queen named Elowen, who watched over the garden with great care. In the village nearby, lived a young girl named Lila. She had always been fascinated by the tales of the enchanted garden but had never seen it with her own eyes. Every night, she would look up at the moon and wonder about the mysterious garden that lay hidden from the world. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, a soft, melodious tune filled the air. The song was so beautiful that it seemed to reach right into Lila's heart. Driven by curiosity and wonder, she followed the melody through the dark woods and over the rolling hills. As she walked, the moonlight seemed to guide her path, and soon she arrived at a large, ivy-covered gate. The gate was adorned with sparkling gems that shimmered in the moonlight. Lila pushed open the gate, and it creaked softly as she stepped into the garden. The sight before her was breathtaking. The garden was a sea of luminescent flowers and shimmering leaves. The moonlight bathed the garden in a silvery glow, and fireflies danced like stars among the blooms. At the heart of the garden stood a majestic tree with silver branches and a trunk that seemed to sparkle with every color of the rainbow. As Lila wandered through the garden, she noticed a particularly radiant flower growing at the base of the tree. It was a moonflower, known for its magical properties. The moonflower was said to grant a single wish to those pure of heart. Just as Lila approached the moonflower, a soft voice spoke from behind her. "Greetings, young traveler," said Queen Elowen, emerging from behind the tree. She was a delicate fairy with wings like gossamer and a crown made of moonlight. "I am Queen Elowen," the guardian of this enchanted garden. Lila was awestruck and managed to stammer, "I've heard stories about this place and the moonflower. I came to see if the stories were true." Queen Aloan smiled warmly. "The moonflower is indeed magical, but it is not just for wishing. It's a symbol of hope and dreams. However, it can only grant its gift to those who show kindness and bravery." As they spoke, a sudden gust of wind swept through the garden, and the sky darkened ominously. The enchanted garden was being threatened by a dark force, the shadow of despair, a creature that thrived on sadness and darkness. The shadow began to cast a veil of gloom over the garden, dimming the light of the moonflower. Queen Aloan's face grew worried. The shadow of despair seeks to consume the light of the moonflower. Without it, the garden will fall into darkness, and its magic will be lost forever. Without hesitation, Lila took a deep breath and stepped forward. "I will help you. I want to save the garden and the moonflower." Queen Aloan nodded in approval. "Brave and kind-hearted indeed. To defeat the shadow of despair, you must find the 3 hidden crystals of light that are scattered throughout the garden. These crystals will restore the moonflower's glow and drive away the shadow." Lila accepted the challenge and set out to find the crystals. She ventured through the garden, solving riddles and overcoming obstacles. The first crystal was hidden in a pond guarded by a wise old turtle who only revealed it when Lila answered a question about the importance of hope. The second crystal was nestled within a grove of trees that sang songs of bravery. To obtain it, Lila had to recite a poem of courage from her heart, demonstrating her resolve and strength. The third crystal was hidden high in the branches of the silver tree, and to reach it, Lila had to climb and face her own fears of heights. As she reached for the crystal, she felt a surge of determination and confidence. With the 3 crystals in hand, Lila returned to the moonflower. She carefully placed the crystals around the flower, and their combined light began to shine brightly. The moonflower's glow intensified, pushing back the darkness of the shadow of despair. The shadow shrieked and writhed as the light grew stronger, eventually dissipating into the night. The garden was saved, and its magic was restored. The moonflower bloomed more beautifully than ever, and the garden's enchantment was even more radiant. Queen Aloan thanked Lila for her bravery and kindness. "You have shown that true magic lies in the heart's courage and hope. The moonflower has granted you one wish." Lila thought for a moment and then said, "I wish for the garden's magic to always Once upon a time, in a lush, sun-drenched valley surrounded by towering mountains and whispering forests, there was a small village named Greenwood. The village was famous for its vibrant flowers and the warm hospitality of its people. Yet, among all its charms, the most enchanting was an old lantern that stood in the village square. It was said to be magical, illuminating the village with a soft, golden light that seemed to dance with the breeze. Legend had it that the lantern had been a gift from a mysterious wanderer long ago, and it had the power to reveal hidden truths and grant a single wish to anyone who truly needed it. However, the lantern hadn't shone brightly for many years, and the villagers had forgotten its magic. In Greenwood lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara was known for her kindness and curiosity. She loved exploring the forests and meadows, always seeking out new adventures. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Ilara noticed that the lantern in the village square was flickering dimly. The village had been facing a harsh winter, and the once bountiful fields had turned barren. Feeling a sense of urgency, Ilara decided to uncover the lantern's secrets and restore its light. She believed that if she could bring back its magic, it might help her village through the hard times. Armed with her lantern, a warm cloak, and a heart full of determination, Ilara approached the village square under the light of the full moon. As she neared the lantern, she noticed a soft, musical hum emanating from it. Ilara reached out and touched the lantern, and to her surprise, the lantern spoke in a gentle, melodic voice. "Welcome, Ilara. I am the enchanted lantern, and I can sense your heart's desire. To restore my light, you must embark on a quest to find 3 hidden tokens. Each token holds a part of my magic. Only then will I be able to grant your wish." Ilara, though slightly daunted, accepted the challenge. The lantern's voice guided her towards the first token, hidden hidden deep within the whispering forest. With the moonlight guiding her way, Elara entered the forest, where the trees seemed to whisper secrets and the air was filled with the scent of pine. After navigating through the forest, Elara found the first token, a silver feather resting on a bed of moss. The feather shimmered with a soft, ethereal glow. With the token safely in her hand, Elara continued her quest. The lantern's voice led her next to a sparkling stream that flowed gently through a meadow. The second token, a golden pebble, lay nestled among the pebbles at the bottom of the stream. Elara carefully retrieved it, feeling its warmth and weight in her hand. The final token was hidden in the heart of a majestic, ancient oak tree. Elara approached the tree and discovered a small, iridescent crystal tucked into a hollow branch. With all three tokens in hand, she returned to the village square. As Elara placed the tokens around the base of the lantern, its light began to flicker more intensely. The lantern's golden glow grew brighter, casting a warm, comforting light across the village. The villagers gathered around, their eyes wide with wonder and joy. The lantern spoke once more, "Elara, you have restored my light and proven the strength of your heart. I will now grant your wish." Elara closed her eyes and made a heartfelt wish for her village to be blessed with prosperity and happiness. As she spoke her wish, the lantern's light enveloped the village, and the fields began to shimmer with new growth. The barren land transformed into lush, green meadows, and the once cold winter gave way to a gentle, warming spring. The villagers celebrated, their hearts filled with gratitude for Elara's bravery and the magic of the enchanted lantern. Elara was hailed as a hero, but she remained humble, knowing that the true magic lay in the unity and kindness of her village. From that day on, the enchanted lantern continued to shine brightly in the village square, a symbol of hope and a reminder of the magic that exists in believing and working together. And Elara's tale became a cherished story, passed down through generations, inspiring others to seek out the magic within their own hearts. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between snow-capped mountains and emerald forests, there was a quaint little village named Brookshire. The villagers were known for their craftsmanship and creativity, but their most prized possession was an ancient and mysterious artifact, the enchanted quill. This quill was said to have the power to bring any written word to life, and it was kept in a secure chest in the village library. The keeper of the quill was a wise old librarian named Cedric, who had cared for it for as long as anyone could remember. Legend had it that the quill was a gift from the fairies, bestowed upon the village to inspire imagination and magic. However, it was also said that the quill's power could only be used once every 100 years, and it required a heart of true intention and bravery. One day, a young girl named Elara, with a spirit full of curiosity and a heart full of dreams, overheard a conversation about the enchanted quill. The villagers spoke of an impending drought that threatened their crops and livelihood. Elara, who loved her village dearly, felt a deep urge to help. She remembered stories her grandmother told her about how the enchanted quill could turn words into reality. Determined to use the quill's magic to save her village, Elara went to the library and approached Cedric. "Cedric," she said, "I wish to use the enchanted quill to bring rain to our fields. The drought is affecting everyone, and I believe the quill's magic can save us." Cedric looked at her with a thoughtful expression. "The quill's magic is powerful and can only be used once every 100 years. It is not to be taken lightly. If you truly wish to use it, you must first prove your worth by completing a series of tasks that test your courage, wisdom, and heart." Elara agreed, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Cedric handed her a map and a small golden key, explaining that the first task was to find the hidden Cave of Echoes, where she would face her first challenge. Following the map, Elara ventured into the dense forest. After hours of trekking, she arrived at a cavern with walls that shimmered with ancient symbols. Inside the cave, her task was to decipher a riddle etched into the stone: "I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness follows me. What am I?" Elara pondered the riddle and realized the answer was a cloud. With that revelation, the cavern's entrance opened, revealing a passage to the next challenge. Elara emerged into a tranquil meadow, where a beautiful, wise-looking deer stood waiting. The deer spoke. To continue, you must show your bravery. Cross the bridge of shadows, but remember, it is not the shadows that are dangerous, but the fears within you. The bridge was a narrow, swaying structure surrounded by a mist that seemed to create dark, shifting shapes. As Alara stepped onto the bridge, the shadows took the form of her deepest fears, failing her village, letting everyone down. She took a deep breath, focused on her purpose, and walked steadily across the bridge. Her bravery saw her through, and she reached the other side unscathed. The final task was to find the enchanted glade, where a silver tree with golden leaves stood. The tree was guarded by a gentle, yet stern, fairy named Lyra. Lyra's task was to ensure that Alara's intentions were truly pure. She asked Alara to describe her deepest wish for her village and why she wanted to use the quill. Alara spoke from her heart, explaining her love for her village and her desire to help everyone prosper and live happily. Lyra listened intently, and seeing the sincerity in Alara's words, she was convinced of her noble intentions. "You have proven yourself worthy," Lyra said. "The enchanted quill is yours to use." Alara thanked Lyra and returned to the library with the quill. Cedric unlocked the chest, and Alara carefully held the quill, its feathers shimmering with magic. She wrote a simple but heartfelt wish: "May rain fall upon our fields and bring life and prosperity to our land." As soon as she finished writing, a gentle rain began to fall over Brookshire. The fields, parched and dry, were soon transformed into lush, green expanses. The villagers rejoiced and celebrated Alara's bravery and selflessness. The enchanted quill's magic had brought the much-needed rain and saved the village from the drought. From that day forward, Alara's tale of courage and compassion was cherished, and the village thrived under the magic of the enchanted quill. And so, the kingdom of Brookshire continued to flourish, and the legend of the enchanted quill lived on as a testament to the power of a pure heart and the magic that true intention can create. The enchanted orchard. Once upon a time, in a quaint kingdom nestled between emerald hills and sparkling rivers, there was a mystical orchard known as the Enchanted Orchard. This orchard was renowned for its magical fruits, which were said to have the power to grant one wish to someone with a pure heart and noble intentions. However, the orchard was hidden deep within an ancient forest and could only be found by those who truly needed its magic. In a small, humble village at the edge of the forest lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her kindness and selflessness. She spent her days helping her family and neighbors, tending to the village's gardens, and caring for the sick. Despite her generosity, Lila and her village were suffering from a terrible blight that had ruined their crops and left them in dire need of food. One day, as Lila was tending the village garden, she overheard a group of travelers talking about the enchanted orchard. They spoke of its magical fruits and the wonders it could bring. Determined to help her village, Lila decided she would venture into the forest to find the orchard and use its magic to save her home. The journey begins early the next morning. Lila packed a small satchel with bread, a flask of water, and a warm cloak. She set off into the ancient forest, guided only by the whispers of the wind and the stories she had heard. The forest was dense and mysterious, with towering trees and winding paths. As she journeyed deeper into the forest, Lila encountered a wise old owl perched on a gnarled tree branch. The owl looked at her with piercing eyes and said, "To find the enchanted orchard, you must first solve my riddle. I have branches but no fruit, no trunk but plenty of leaves. What am I?" Lila pondered for a moment and then answered, "A book." The owl hooted in approval and flapped its wings, revealing a hidden path illuminated by a soft, silver glow. Lila followed the path, her heart filled with hope. The mysterious glade. The path led Lila to a serene glade where the trees were adorned with glowing fireflies. In the center of the glade was a gently bubbling spring, and beside it stood a graceful deer. The deer spoke softly. "To continue, you must solve this riddle. What has cities, but no houses, mountains, but no trees, and water, but no fish?" Lila thought carefully and then answered, "A map." The deer nodded and stepped aside, revealing a shimmering bridge that spanned across the spring. Lila crossed the bridge and continued her journey. the enchanted orchard. The bridge led Lila to a hidden grove bathed in golden light. In the center of the grove stood the enchanted orchard, its trees laden with glowing fruits of every color imaginable. The air was filled with a sweet, intoxicating fragrance. Lila approached the orchard and saw a large, ancient tree in the middle, with a single, magnificent fruit hanging from its branches. The tree spoke in a deep, melodic voice, "To receive the magic of the enchanted orchard, you must make a wish with a heart full of love and selflessness. What you wish for should benefit others." Lila took a deep breath and made her wish. "I wish for my village to be blessed with abundant crops and to have enough food for everyone, so that no one has to go hungry." As she spoke, the magnificent fruit began to glow even brighter, and a gentle breeze carried its magic back to Lila's village. The light spread across the forest, flowing into the fields and gardens of her home. The return to the village. When Lila returned to her village, she was greeted with astonished joy. The once barren fields were now lush and green, the crops were thriving, and there was plenty of food for everyone. The village celebrated with a grand feast, and the people were filled with gratitude for Lila's bravery and kindness. The magic of the enchanted orchard had transformed the village, bringing prosperity and happiness to all. Lila was honored as a hero, and her story became a cherished legend, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of selflessness and the magic that lies within a kind heart. And so, Lila's village continued to thrive, forever blessed by the magic of the enchanted orchard and the loving heart of one extraordinary young girl. Once upon a time, in a land where the sky kissed the mountains and rivers sang lullabies to the trees, there was a kingdom known as Eldoria. This enchanting realm was home to magical creatures, talking animals, and a wise and kind queen named Seraphina. Queen Seraphina ruled Eldoria with a gentle heart and a sharp mind. Under her reign, the kingdom flourished. Flowers bloomed in endless meadows, forests thrived with vibrant life, and the people of Eldoria were always happy and content. But the queen had a secret, a wish she had kept close to her heart for many years. She longed to have a child, but despite all the magic in Eldoria, she remained childless. One warm, golden afternoon, as Seraphina walked through her palace garden, a soft, melodic voice called out to her. Turning towards the sound, she saw a shimmering figure emerge from the sunlight, a fairy with wings that sparkled like diamonds and eyes that gleamed with kindness. "Your Majesty," said the fairy, bowing gracefully, "I am Alara, the Fairy of Wishes. I have heard your heart's deepest desire and I am here to help." Queen Seraphina's eyes widened in surprise and hope. "Can you truly grant my wish, Alara?" The fairy smiled. "Yes, but the magic required is rare and potent. It will need a special ingredient, a tear from the heart of the enchanted forest, shed by a creature of pure joy." Determined to fulfill her wish, Queen Seraphina set out on a journey to the enchanted forest, accompanied by her loyal guard, Sir Cedric. The forest was a mystical place, filled with ancient trees whose leaves whispered secrets and paths that twisted and turned in ways that defied logic. After days of searching, they stumbled upon a clearing where a beautiful unicorn stood, its coat shimmering with every color of the rainbow. The unicorn, named Luna, was a creature of pure joy, her laughter ringing like the sweetest melody. Seraphina approached Luna with a gentle smile. "Dear Luna, I seek a tear of pure joy to fulfill a wish close to my heart. Will you help me?" Luna's eyes twinkled with understanding. "I will help you, Queen Seraphina, for I know your heart is true. But to shed a tear of joy, I must be reminded of the happiest moment in my life." Queen Seraphina and Sir Cedric shared stories of love, friendship, and bravery with Luna, each tale more uplifting than the last. As they spoke of the joys and wonders of the world, Luna's heart swelled with happiness until a single, glistening tear rolled down her cheek. The queen carefully collected the tear in a crystal vial, thanking Luna with all her heart. With the precious tear in hand, they returned to Eldoria, where Alara awaited them. "Well done, Your Majesty," Alara said, her wings fluttering with excitement. She took the vial and chanted an ancient spell, the air around her shimmering with magic. As the spell reached its peak, a brilliant light enveloped Queen Seraphina, and when it faded, she felt a warm, gentle presence within her. Months passed, and Eldoria prepared for a joyous event. On a crisp, starry night, the kingdom celebrated the birth of Princess Eliana, a child of pure magic and love. Her laughter was like the tinkling of fairy bells, and her smile brought light to the darkest corners of the world. Princess Eliana grew up surrounded by love and wonder, her magical abilities blossoming with each passing year. She became a beacon of hope and happiness for the people of Eldoria, just as her mother had always dreamed. And so, the kingdom of Eldoria continued to thrive, blessed by the magic of the Fairy of Wishes and the pure joy of a unicorn's tear. Queen Seraphina's wish had come true, and she and her daughter lived happily ever after, spreading love and light throughout the land. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Lumina, nestled between misty mountains and sparkling rivers, there was a peculiar garden known as the Moonlit Garden. The garden was famous for its flowers that only bloomed under the light of the full moon. It was said that these flowers possessed magical properties and could grant a single wish to anyone who found them. In Lumina lived a gentle young woman named Eloan. She was known for her kindness and her love for nature. Despite her content life, Eloan often dreamed of finding the moonlit garden and discovering its secrets. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, she decided to embark on a quest to find the legendary garden and make a wish to help her village, which had been suffering from a mysterious drought. With a lantern in hand and a heart full of hope, Eloan set off towards the forest where the moonlit garden was rumored to be hidden. As she walked, the moonlight cast a silvery glow on the path, guiding her deeper into the woods. After a while, Eloan reached a clearing where the air seemed to shimmer with magic. She saw an ancient oak tree with a door carved into its trunk. The door was decorated with intricate designs that seemed to shift and change in the moonlight. Eloan felt a sense of wonder and excitement as she approached the door. With a deep breath, Eloan opened the door and stepped into a hidden grove bathed in the soft, silvery light of the full moon. The grove was filled with flowers of every color imaginable, their petals glowing like stars in the night sky. At the center of the grove was a large, crystal-clear pond with a delicate bridge arching over it. As Eloan crossed the bridge, she noticed a small, enchanting figure by the edge of the pond. It was a fairy with wings that sparkled like moonbeams. The fairy introduced herself as Luna, the guardian of the moonlit garden. "Welcome, Eloan," Luna said with a twinkle in her eye. "I have been expecting you. The moonlit garden grants one wish to those who find it, but you must first prove your heart's true intention." Eloan nodded, understanding the gravity of the task. "I wish to help my village," she said earnestly. "We are suffering from a terrible drought, and I hope that the garden's magic can restore our land and bring rain." Luna smiled warmly. "Your wish is noble, but to earn the garden's magic, you must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your courage, kindness, and wisdom." The first task was to find the silver blossom, a rare flower that was said to hide itself among the other blooms. Eloan searched the grove, her lantern casting a soft glow. After a while, she noticed that the flowers were whispering to each other. Listening carefully, Eloan followed their guidance and discovered the silver blossom nestled under a cluster of moonlit petals. The second task was to help a family of moon rabbits who had lost their way in the grove. Eloan found the rabbits huddled together, frightened and confused. Using her gentle voice and kind touch, she guided them back to their burrow, where they were safe and warm. The final task was to solve a riddle posed by Luna. The riddle was, "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter, but you can't go outside. What am I?" Eloan thought deeply and finally answered, "A piano." Luna clapped her hands in delight. "You have completed all the tasks with grace and sincerity. The moonlit garden's magic is now yours to use." With a wave of Luna's hand, a soft, glowing mist enveloped Eloan. The flowers in the garden began to shimmer even brighter, and the pond's water sparkled like liquid silver. Luna handed Eloan a small vial filled with the garden's magic. "Use this vial to bring rain to your village," Luna instructed. "May the magic of the moonlit garden help you in your quest." Eloan thanked Luna and returned to her village, carrying the vial of magical water. As she poured the water over the parched fields, dark clouds gathered in the sky, and gentle rain began to fall. The land absorbed the rain eagerly, and the once dry fields began to turn green and lush. The villagers rejoiced at the sight of the rain, their crops flourishing once more. Iloan's bravery and kindness had saved her village from the drought, and the moonlit garden's magic had restored life to the land. The tale of Iloan's adventure became a cherished story in Lumina, a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that can be found in the most unexpected places. And so, the moonlit garden continued to bloom under the light of the full moon, a symbol of hope and wonder, while Iloan lived happily, always ready for new adventures and discoveries. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between lush forests and shimmering lakes, there was a legend of a magical lantern called the Lantern of Everlight. This lantern was said to have the power to grant any wish and bring light and joy to the darkest of places. For years, it had been lost, and the village had fallen into a time of uncertainty and gloom. In this village lived a brave and kind-hearted boy named Finn. Finn had always been fascinated by the tales of the Lantern of Everlight, and he believed that finding it could restore happiness to his village. One day, when a particularly fierce storm battered the village, causing widespread damage and despair, Finn decided it was time to embark on a quest to find the legendary lantern. The first challenge, the Enchanted Forest. Finn's journey began in the Enchanted Forest, a place known for its mysterious beauty and magical inhabitants. As he ventured deeper into the forest, he encountered a wise old deer with antlers that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light. To pass through the Enchanted Forest, the deer said in a voice like the rustling leaves, "You must solve this riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Finn thought for a moment and answered, "Fire." The deer's eyes glowed with approval, and it stepped aside to reveal a hidden path through the forest. "Follow this path to reach your next challenge," the deer instructed. The second challenge, the Crystal Lake. Following the deer's directions, Finn arrived at the Crystal Lake, a serene and reflective body of water surrounded by towering cliffs. The lake was guarded by a graceful swan with feathers that sparkled like diamonds. To cross the Crystal Lake, the swan said with a gentle voice, "You must answer this question. I am always hungry, I must always be fed. The finger I touch will soon turn red. What am I?" Finn pondered the question and replied, "Fire." The swan's eyes twinkled with delight, and it used its wings to create a bridge of shimmering light across the lake. Finn carefully crossed the lake, his heart full of hope and determination. The third challenge, the Cave of Whispers. On the other side of the lake, Finn discovered the Cave of Whispers, a dark and cavernous space filled with glowing crystals that cast eerie shadows on the walls. At the entrance of the cave was a grand, ancient door adorned with celestial symbols. A soft voice echoed through the cave, "To open this door and find the Lantern of Everlight, you must reveal your true heart. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with pure intentions." Finn took a deep breath and spoke earnestly, "My deepest wish is to find the Lantern of Everlight and bring its light back to my village, so that we may restore our hope and joy." The cave's walls shimmered with a warm, golden light, and the grand door slowly creaked open, revealing the Lantern of Everlight glowing softly on a pedestal in the center of the cave. Its light was gentle yet powerful, casting a warm and comforting glow. The revelation, restoring light to the village. With the Lantern of Everlight in hand, Finn returned to his village. As he carried the lantern through the streets, its light began to spread, illuminating the once dark corners of the village. The lantern's light brought warmth and joy to the hearts of everyone who saw it. The damaged homes and fields started to heal, and the village was filled with a renewed sense of hope and happiness. The villagers gathered to celebrate the miraculous return of light and joy, and they thanked Finn for his bravery and determination. The tale of Finn's quest and the Lantern of Everlight became a cherished story in the village, a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that can be found in the darkest of times. Under the warm glow of the lantern, the village thrived once more, forever grateful for the boy who had restored their light and their joy. In a small, quaint village nestled at the edge of a mystical forest, lived a kind-hearted girl named Elara. Elara's life was simple but filled with joy as she spent her days helping her parents with their flower shop and playing with the woodland creatures. But Elara harbored a secret wish, to uncover the mysteries of the enchanted forest that loomed beyond the village. One crisp autumn evening, as the leaves danced with the wind, Elara's curiosity got the better of her. Armed with a warm cloak and a sturdy lantern, she ventured into the forest, where whispers of magic and mystery awaited. As Elara walked deeper into the forest, the trees seemed to sway in rhythm with her footsteps. The air was filled with the fragrance of pine and moss, and the path was illuminated by the soft glow of her lantern. Hours passed, and just as she began to wonder if she should turn back, she stumbled upon a hidden glade bathed in moonlight. In the center of the glade stood an ancient oak tree, its branches reaching towards the heavens like welcoming arms. At the base of the tree, Elara noticed an ornate, golden lantern embedded in the roots. Intrigued, she reached out and touched the lantern, which was adorned with intricate designs of stars and moons. As soon as her fingers brushed the lantern, it began to glow with a magical light. The ground trembled slightly, and the oak tree's bark shimmered with a silvery hue. To Elara's astonishment, the tree spoke in a gentle, ancient voice. "Brave and kind-hearted Elara," the oak said, "you have found the Lantern of Wishes. This lantern holds the power to grant a single wish, but it must be used with a pure heart." Elara's eyes widened with excitement and wonder. She thought long and hard about her wish. She could wish for riches or fame, but what she truly desired was something more meaningful. After a moment of contemplation, she said, "I wish for the forest to remain enchanted and protected, so that its magic and beauty can be shared with everyone." The oak tree's leaves rustled in approval, and a soft breeze carried Elara's words to the heavens. The lantern's light intensified, casting a warm, golden glow across the glade. The ancient oak began to glow with a radiant light, and a gentle, melodious hum filled the air. The next morning, Elara returned to her village, her heart full of joy. She found that the forest had transformed. The trees sparkled with dew, flowers bloomed in colors never seen before, and the woodland creatures danced in harmony. The village became enchanted by the beauty of the forest, and people from far and wide came to witness its magic. The forest flourished, and Elara's wish had come true. She had not only preserved its enchantment but had also brought happiness and wonder to countless others. And though she returned to her life in the village, she continued to visit the forest often, where she would find the oak tree waiting to share its wisdom and stories. As the years passed, Elara's tale became a beloved legend, and the forest remained a symbol of magic and hope. The Lantern of Wishes, now a cherished relic of the forest, stood as a testament to the power of selflessness and the beauty that comes from wishing for the good of all. And so, the enchanted forest continued to thrive, a place where dreams and reality intertwined, thanks to the courage and kindness of one remarkable girl named Elara.
Once upon a time, in a quaint village called Meadow Brook, there lived a talented young artist named Lily. Lily loved to paint and dreamed of creating a masterpiece that would bring joy to everyone. She lived with her grandmother, who always encouraged her to follow her dreams. One day, while exploring the attic, Lily found an old, dusty paintbrush hidden inside a wooden box. As soon as she touched the paintbrush, it shimmered with a magical glow. Her grandmother explained that it was a legendary magic paintbrush, said to bring paintings to life. However, it had been lost for many years. Excited by the possibilities, Lily decided to test the magic paintbrush. She painted a beautiful garden filled with colorful flowers, towering trees, and sparkling streams. As she finished, the painting began to glow, and the scene started to come to life. To her amazement, she found herself standing in the very garden she had painted. The garden was more magnificent than she could have ever imagined. The flowers swayed as if dancing to a gentle melody, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming roses. Lily realized that she had the power to create magical worlds with her art. Lily explored the enchanted garden, marveling at the beauty and serenity of the place. She met a talking rabbit named Thistle, who guided her through the garden. Thistle explained that the garden was a magical realm created by the power of the paintbrush. It was a place where dreams came true, and the heart's deepest desires were fulfilled. As Lily wandered through the garden, she saw other creatures like talking birds, friendly deer, and mischievous fairies. They all welcomed her warmly and thanked her for bringing the garden to life once more. As the sun began to set, Thistle led Lily to the heart of the garden, where a majestic oak tree stood. Beneath the tree sat an old man with a long, flowing beard and wise, twinkling eyes. He was the guardian of the garden, a magical being who protected the enchanted realm. The guardian greeted Lily and told her about the paintbrush's true power. This brush can bring to life not just beauty, but also the desires and dreams of the painter. But beware, young artist, for with great power comes great responsibility. Use it wisely and with a pure heart. Inspired by the guardian's words, Lily made a wish to help her village. Meadowbrook had been suffering from a long drought, and their crops were failing. She painted a scene of her village surrounded by rain clouds, with rivers flowing and fields blooming with healthy crops. As she finished the painting, it glowed and transformed into reality. The skies over Meadowbrook darkened, and gentle rain began to fall. The villagers rejoiced as the rivers filled, and the crops started to grow. Lily's heart swelled with happiness, knowing she had helped her home. However, not all was well. A greedy and envious merchant named Vesper heard about Lily's magic paintbrush. He wanted the paintbrush for himself to create endless wealth and power. One night, he sneaked into Lily's home and stole the paintbrush while she slept. Vesper began to paint scenes of riches and palaces, but his greed twisted the magic. The paintings came to life, but they brought chaos and destruction. The enchanted garden turned dark and withered, and the magical creatures fled in fear. Desperate to save the enchanted garden and her village, Lily set out to confront Vesper. With the help of Thistle and the other magical creatures, she tracked him down to a cave filled with his monstrous creations. Lily bravely faced Vesper and demanded the return of the paintbrush. Vesper, consumed by his greed, refused and unleashed his twisted creations upon her. A fierce battle ensued, but Lily's pure heart and determination shone through. With the help of her friends, she managed to reclaim the paintbrush. Lily used the paintbrush to undo the damage caused by Vesper's greed. She painted scenes of peace and harmony, restoring the enchanted garden to its former glory. The magical creatures returned, and the garden flourished once more. The guardian of the garden appeared and praised Lily for her courage and wisdom. He bestowed upon her a special gift, the ability to paint without the need for the magic brush, for the true magic lay within her heart. With her newfound ability, Lily returned to Meadowbrook and continued to create beautiful art that brought joy and wonder to the villagers. She taught others to appreciate the beauty of nature and the importance of a pure heart. The story of Lily and the magic paintbrush spread far and wide, inspiring artists and dreamers across the land. The enchanted garden remained a place of magic and wonder, visited by those who believed in the power of dreams and the magic within. Lily grew old, but her spirit remained young and vibrant. She continued to paint and inspire generations. The paintbrush was passed down to worthy successors, who used it to create beauty and spread kindness. And so, the tale of the magic paintbrush and the enchanted garden lived on, a timeless story of courage, kindness, and the enduring power of a pure heart.
Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between misty mountains and rolling meadows, there was a grand castle where Princess Aria lived. Aria was known throughout the land for her bravery and kindness. She loved exploring the castle grounds and the enchanted forests that surrounded it, always seeking new adventures. One day, as Aria wandered through the royal gardens, she overheard a conversation between two ancient oak trees. Their whispers spoke of a powerful artifact hidden deep within the forbidden forest, a mystical sapphire stone known as the Heart of the Forest. According to legend, this stone had the power to grant one wish to the pure-hearted soul who found it. Intrigued and determined to help her kingdom, which had been facing a long drought, Aria decided to embark on a quest to find the heart of the forest. she packed a small satchel with essentials, including a map of the forest, her trusty sword, and a warm cloak, and set out on her journey. The Forbidden Forest was a place of wonder and mystery, with towering trees whose branches seemed to touch the sky. The deeper Arya ventured, the more magical the forest became. Glowing flowers lit her path, and gentle creatures with shimmering wings fluttered around her. As Arya followed the map, she came upon a babbling brook. To her surprise, the brook spoke in a gentle, melodic voice. Only those who prove their bravery and kindness may pass this way. To continue, you must help those in need. Arya agreed and soon encountered a group of woodland creatures trapped under a fallen tree. With careful effort, she lifted the tree and freed the animals, who chattered their thanks before scampering off into the forest. Continuing her journey, Arya reached a clearing where an ancient, wise old owl perched on a branch. The owl, with eyes like deep pools of knowledge, regarded her with a solemn gaze. "The heart of the forest is near," the owl said, "but you must pass one final test. You must face your greatest fear." Arya took a deep breath and ventured further into the forest. As she walked, she suddenly found herself in a dark, eerie part of the woods. Shadows danced around her, and strange noises echoed through the trees. Arya's heart raced, but she remembered her purpose and pressed on. In the heart of the darkness, she discovered a shadowy figure, a fearsome dragon with scales that glinted like night. The dragon roared, sending tremors through the ground. Arya's courage wavered, but she knew she had to face the dragon to find the heart of the forest. With determination, Arya stepped forward and spoke in a steady voice. "I seek the heart of the forest to bring help to my kingdom. I mean no harm, but I must prove my bravery." The dragon's eyes softened, and it spoke in a deep, rumbling voice. "Bravery is not the absence of fear but the strength to face it. You have shown great courage. I will help you find the heart." The dragon led Arya through the darkness to a hidden glade where the sapphire stone rested upon a pedestal of entwined vines. The stone glowed with a mesmerizing blue light, illuminating the entire glade. Arya approached it with reverence and awe. As she touched the heart of the forest, a soft, melodious voice filled the air. "Brave Princess Arya, your wish will be granted. What is it that you desire?" Arya closed her eyes and thought of her kingdom, suffering under the drought. With a hopeful heart, she made her wish. "I wish for the drought to end and for my kingdom to prosper." The sapphire stone shimmered brightly, and a warm, golden light spread across the land. The drought was lifted, and the fields and streams were replenished with life-giving water. The kingdom flourished once more, and the people rejoiced. Arya returned to her castle, where she was welcomed with celebration and gratitude. The kingdom thrived, and Arya's bravery and kindness were celebrated in songs and stories told throughout the land. The heart of the forest, having fulfilled its purpose, was returned to its hidden place, awaiting the next soul with a pure heart who sought its magic. And Princess Arya continued her adventures, always guided by the courage and kindness that had led her to the heart of the forest. The end. Once upon a time, in a village called Greenvale, there lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her bright eyes, curious nature, and a heart full of dreams. She loved to explore the world around her and often ventured into the nearby Whispering Woods, a place filled with ancient trees and enchanting stories. One warm summer afternoon, while wandering through the woods, Lila stumbled upon a hidden path she had never seen before. Intrigued, she followed it, weaving through thick bushes and tall trees. As she walked, she heard faint whispers in the air, like the forest was trying to tell her something. The path led her to a small clearing with a crystal-clear pond at its center. The water shimmered under the sunlight, and beside it stood an old willow tree with its branches gently swaying. Lila approached the tree and noticed a tiny door at its base, almost hidden among the roots. Curiosity getting the better of her, Lila knocked on the door. To her surprise, it creaked open, and out came a tiny fairy with sparkling wings and a kind smile. "Hello, Lila," the fairy said. "I am Faye, the guardian of the Whispering Woods. You have been chosen for a special quest." Lila's eyes widened with excitement. A quest? What kind of quest? Faye fluttered her wings and explained, the heart of the Whispering Woods is in danger. The magic that keeps our forest alive is fading because the ancient tree of life is losing its strength. We need your help to find the 3 magical crystals that can restore its power. Lila agreed without hesitation, eager to help and embark on an adventure. Faye handed her a map and a small, enchanted lantern. This map will guide you, and the lantern will light your way. But remember, the crystals are hidden in places that test your courage, wisdom, and kindness. With the map in hand, Lila set off on her quest. Her first stop was the Cave of Shadows, where the Crystal of Courage was hidden. The cave was dark and filled with eerie sounds, but Lila pressed on, her lantern casting a warm glow. She encountered giant spiders and shadowy figures but faced them bravely. At the cave's end, she found the glowing blue crystal and tucked it safely into her pouch. Next, the map led her to the enchanted maze, where the Crystal of Wisdom was hidden. The maze was a twisting, turning labyrinth with walls that seemed to move on their own. Lila relied on her memory and problem-solving skills to navigate through. She encountered riddles and puzzles, which she solved with patience and intelligence. Finally, she reached the maze's center and found the radiant green crystal. The last destination was the Meadow of Whispers, where the Crystal of Kindness was hidden. The meadow was filled with animals in need of help, injured birds, lost deer, and scared rabbits. Lila spent time caring for each creature, showing them love and compassion. As she did, a beautiful pink crystal appeared before her, glowing with a gentle light. With all 3 crystals in her possession, Lila hurried back to the Tree of Life. Faye was waiting for her, and together, they placed the crystals around the tree's roots. The crystals began to glow, and a brilliant light enveloped the tree. Slowly, the Tree of Life regained its strength, and the magic of the Whispering Woods was restored. The trees whispered their gratitude, and the forest came alive with vibrant colors and joyful sounds. Faye thanked Lila for her bravery, wisdom, and kindness. You have saved our forest, Lila. The Whispering Woods will forever be in your debt. Lila returned to her village, her heart full of pride and joy. She shared her adventure with the villagers, and they celebrated her bravery. The Whispering Woods became a place of wonder and magic, where the villagers often visited to hear the trees whisper tales of Lila's heroic quest. And so, Lila lived a happy life, always ready for the next adventure, knowing that true magic lies in courage, wisdom, and kindness. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between lush green hills and the shimmering blue lake, lived 2 siblings, Elara and Thorn. Elara was a kind-hearted girl with a curiosity that matched her bright blue eyes, while Thorn, her younger brother, was brave and adventurous, always eager to explore the unknown. Their village was surrounded by a dense forest known as the Enchanted Grove. Legends spoke of magical creatures and hidden treasures within the grove, but it was also said to be protected by an ancient enchantment that only the pure of heart could pass through. One sunny morning, Elara and Thorn set off on a new adventure. They had heard whispers of a hidden glade within the Enchanted Grove where the fabled Tree of Wishes grew. The tree, according to the legend, could grant one true wish to those who found it. With their hearts full of hope, they ventured into the grove, guided by a mysterious map they found in their grandmother's attic. As they walked deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and the light dimmer. The air was filled with the scent of wildflowers and the sound of rustling leaves. Suddenly, a mischievous pixie named Lumina appeared before them, her wings shimmering like sunlight on water. "Where are you 2 headed?" Lumina asked with a twinkle in her eye. "We're looking for the Tree of Wishes," Elara replied. Lumina fluttered around them, her laughter like the tinkling of tiny bells. "Many have sought the tree, but few have found it. The path is perilous and full of challenges. But I see something special in both of you. I will guide you, but you must prove your worth along the way." The siblings agreed, and Lumina led them to their first challenge, a bridge guarded by a fierce troll named Grumble. The troll demanded a riddle be solved before they could pass. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Grumble growled. Elara thought for a moment and then answered, an echo. Grumble grunted, but a smile tugged at his lips. Correct. You may pass. The trio continued their journey until they reached a wide river with no bridge or boat in sight. Lumina pointed to a family of beavers nearby. Perhaps they can help. Thorn approached the beavers and asked for their assistance. The beavers agreed to build a bridge if the siblings could help them find food. Elara and Thorn worked together, gathering berries and nuts, and soon the beavers constructed a sturdy bridge. As they crossed the river, Lumina warned them of their final challenge, a maze of thorns that could only be navigated by those with pure intentions. Holding hands, Elara and Thorn entered the maze, their hearts united in their quest. They walked with determination, helping each other through the twists and turns. At the maze's end, they found themselves in a serene glade bathed in golden light. In the center stood the majestic tree of wishes, its branches heavy with sparkling fruit. A gentle voice spoke from the tree, "You have shown bravery, kindness, and purity of heart. You may each make a wish." Elara wished for the prosperity and happiness of their village, while Thorn wished for their parents' good health and long life. The tree shimmered, and the wishes were granted. As a token of gratitude, the tree gave them each a golden leaf, promising that they would always find their way back to the glade when needed. With Lumina's help, Elara and Thorn returned home, their hearts light and their spirits high. They shared their tale, and the village flourished with newfound hope and joy. And so, the siblings' adventure became a cherished legend, reminding everyone that with courage, kindness, and a pure heart, even the most daunting challenges could be overcome. And they lived happily ever after. The end.